any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, San Antonio, Texas. How we doing, baby?
We good,
man. We good. I'm back in the saddle. I was out for a couple days.
Greatly missed, my friend.
Oh,
greatly missed.
You
it was
sweet
lonely
talker.
in the studio.
You sweet talker.
I'm a sweet talker. I'm lonely.
Thanks to Jason Minix for stepping in on Friday.
So Jason came in on Friday and damn near killed a homeless person.
Oh,
This dude.
Was there a fight in the parking lot?
No, it was this dude with a shopping cart. We call him Ernie. Ernie he didn't get anyway. Damn near killed him, and then
wrecked him.
Scared, yeah, didn't even know him. And then Joe Reinagle stayed at his house yesterday and broadcast from the flower garden that is his wife's office.
Well, that's lazy.
It was, man, but
bro,
I'd like to thank him for setting it. Well, he's a TV dude. He hadn't seen this early ever.
Make the effort, right?
Ever he has not seen that.
So if they ask me to fill in again on the afternoon show, can I do that from home?
You know what? Probably not, because you're not Joe Reinagle. I mean, there's certain rights and privileges that go with being Joe Reinagle.
Just don't seem right.
And maybe one day in about 30 years, you too will be still mistaken for the weatherman, but also you'll get to broadcast from your wife's office.
Yeah, that'd be that's life goals is to just work from home. When someone says, "Hey, can you come fill in for?" and just be like, "Yeah, but I'm not going to drive all the way to the office."
Well, see, I mean, it's when you're Joe Reinagle.
Yeah. Well, listen, things to aspire to.
Yeah.
Things to aspire to. Well, thanks to everyone who picked up my slack when I was gone. I have actually been on a really well-deserved vacation. As someone who, I mean, listen, I worked here for 3 weeks before I had a day off, and I needed my time away.
Well, you won't get out of here again until April of 26. So you're kind of locked in now.
Yeah, that was no big deal. But no, it feels good to be back. I come to work, unlike Vic, who I don't know what's going on with him. He's like his liver fell out or something.
We all have.
He sent a text at 3 a.m, like, I'm not going to be able to make it. It's like, dude, we don't start for another 3 hours. You might recover by then. You can't say at 3 o'clock I'm too sick to come to work.
I mean, I know dudes that were released from the hospital after surgery 3 hours.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah, you know how much I drank yesterday? And here I am.
Maybe that's why you're here.
Maybe that's what
has carried you forward. Maybe Vic didn't drink enough.
I think that's what it is. Or maybe he drank too much water. I don't know. But
that stuff will kill you.
That's what I hear.
Fish screw in it.
Well, they poop there too.
They pooped in it. Gross. It's the vitamins.
Gross. Yeah, I was reading a story today. I wasn't going to make the program, but now that you've said that, I'll there's like a river.
I could lower the bar.
There's a river in France, some people call it. I don't know how to pronounce it, which is part of why I dumped the story. I think it's the River Seine.
Yeah, I think that you said it correct.
Okay. But I guess the people there have been complaining about the cleanliness of the river. And there's I don't know if there's I don't know what's going on in France. They have a queen or they have a president. What do they have?
They have a president.
Okay. Is it a lady?
No, it's a man.
Okay. Well,
but his wife is a well-regarded kind of socialite type. So
okay. Well, maybe about her. Maybe she's not that well-regarded because there was some lady in France, some lady politician or married to the president or something. Maybe that's what it is. She said the river's being cleaned up. And she said, I'm going to get in the river and swim just to show. And then a viral TikTok trend started where basically everyone in Paris decided it was like bleep in the Seine, and they were all going to, they set up toilets all along the river so they could all take a dump in the river.
A very French thing to do. by the way.
upriver. Yeah, that is what
That's
they
very
like. They are
Frenchy
very
thing to do.
militant
They go
protesters.
hardcore, man. Like if you take like 15 minutes off their lunch break, they're going to set benches on fire in the park.
Yeah.
You don't take anything away from them. So pooping in their own river, that's
That
right up
makes
their alley.
Oh, this lady is like saying the river's clean.
I'll show you.
I'll show you.
Mhm.
This river is not clean.
I'll have some extra cheese.
If you think it's clean now, you wait till we are done.
we all turn into Pepe Le Pew. I want some extra cheese, some extra fromage on this.
Pepe Le Pew's like frowned upon now.
Because he's a little rapey. There's a little rapey thing going on with Pepe.
I do have a rapey story that we're going to get to. Like, I think having a reputation as a rapist is very, very bad to begin with. But there's ways that you can up it. Like, it would be terrible to be known as like the, I don't know, like the smelly rapist or the,
you just want to be known as a rapist. You don't want to have the extra adjective to take you one step further. Like,
and this one, there's a bad one. Listen, there's going to be some people catching strays on our show today. We're going to talk some airline etiquette. I'll be honest. There's not a lot of sports that I'm like super, stoked to talk about. So we're going to talk some sports. We're going to talk a lot of stuff today. And there's some airline stuff I want to get into. And listen, I want to make something perfectly clear. I back the blue, Rob. You know me. I'm a supporter. I want just
let you run point on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to let you carry on. I'm going to be in the rear with the gear. So if everything works out all right, I'm going to meet you where we're going. But right now, I'm going to let you.
I got some
kind of run lead on this one.
I got some cop stories I'm going to get into, and these there's a lot of good cops, but there's a couple bad cops, some bad eggs as we call them, and I got some bad egg stories today. None regarding the San Antonio police, because I imagine the police force here is on top of things.
We back the blue.
Yeah. When's the last time you heard about a serial killer in San Antonio?
It's been a few years. We had a guy that was running around the railroads.
Oh,
he took out a few in Houston too.
Did he?
Don't ask me about serial killers. My wife is, I would say, mildly obsessed. So I'm pretty down with the serial killer stuff. We had a nurse that killed a bunch of kids and put people under in Kerrville for a while.
Oh.
And there was some thought that there was someone taking out little girls for a couple of years, but that kind of died down.
I hate nurse serial killers.
Yeah, when they put, they're the ones that, little injection right there. This was the one that killed a bunch of. She was up for parole.
She was killing kids.
Yeah, little babies. She
That's
had that
worse.
Munchausen thing.
I don't like it.
Killing them.
I like. I generally don't like any serial killers. Like I'm against that in general. I'm
pretty anti. But there's, I've seen like what's the HBO series or the Showtime series with Dexter? I'm pro Dexter.
Yeah,
Dexter was a good. If I met Dexter, I'd be down with him.
Yeah. But I think that if you're gonna be a serial killer, at least don't be like the nurse and like make us think that you're helping us and then kill us.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't like that. If you break into my house and you stab me while I'm asleep or whatever, you tie me up and put me in the trunk. Hey man, you got me.
That's proper serial killer etiquette.
That's the way you do it. You got to earn your keep.
Well,
you can't let some sick guy go to the hospital and be like, ooh, now I've got another victim here. That's just lazy serial killing. That's like
Hannibal Lecter would be against that.
Yeah, man.
There's a certain amount of, I don't know, decorum involved with serial
etiquette.
Killing. Well, yeah, we expect to be taken in the night.
Yes.
By some creepy thing in the darkness.
I didn't lock my door.
My fault.
That's on me. I guess you got me.
I picked up a hitchhiker. It's on me.
I made a mistake.
I went camping with a bunch of kids next to a lake. My fault.
Yes. But I go to the hospital because I've got a kidney infection and the nurse kills me.
Nurse Goodbody takes me out in the back room. No, that's not fair.
That's not right. I'm already laid up. I didn't have a chance to defend myself.
It does speed the emergency room wait. I mean, they are, in the grand scheme of things, helping out. I mean, it is freeing a bed and allowing us to speed through. So I'm not really going to argue.
But is it a quick death or is it? I think they give them the medicine and they're like, oh,
what do I care?
Getting even sicker, and then they're taking up more beds.
As long as the 5-minute wait sign out front is accurate. That's really all I care.
Well, listen, if you're going to kill me, earn it. That's all I'm saying. I'm willing to be serial killed. I just don't want you to do it while I'm already sick.
And make it interesting. So I make a series. So I actually will get on TV.
I want to
later.
get on Netflix.
Do something unique. Make it to where they went, oh my God, why did we tell you what they did to Rob? I want that. So I live on.
Right.
That's there's something notable about me.
Yeah, man. Like they
found his feet in another state.
Remember, there's a girl, she's dead, but there's a girl who was like, said, you know what?
This is awful, man.
I'm going to help Ted Bundy.
Where are we?
I'm going to help Ted Bundy put his canoe on top of his Volkswagen. And then she got serial murdered. And it's like, you know what? Yeah. Or they're like, the kids that were out kissing when the Zodiac killer came up, they're making out. And the Zodiac killer came up and shot them both.
I have a lot of theories about the Zodiac killer.
Do you?
I have.
You believe
I'm starting my own podcast.
He potentially could be Greg Popovich.
I think he's my neighbor. But I don't want to really get into it. The podcast is in its early stages, but I'm pretty sure he's my neighbor.
Have you ever seen the Zodiac killer and Edwin in the same room?
Not once. In fact, I would venture to say I'm not even sure I know when Edwin was in Oakland or the Bay Area, but I'm pretty sure he was. And he can't account for his whereabouts back in the early 70s.
Edwin is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I've been told that there's a lot of
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yes, it's in the water there. And then he denies.
Don't know anything about Jeffrey
He
Dahmer.
says he wasn't even born in the early 70s.
That's
and
what
I
he
say,
says.
prove it.
I think he was going to the same bathhouses as Jeffrey Dahmer.
I see someone that might have looked like him. But
not in a bathhouse.
No.
In a bathhouse?
No,
not in a bathhouse. No. All right. No judgment here.
Did you really?
No.
Did he look hungry?
Everybody in Wisconsin looks like Jeffrey Dahmer. I got news for you. Except the women are bigger, but the men are all a bunch of skinny Jeffrey Dahmer lookers. That's what they look like.
Charles Barkley.
What? No, Charles Barkley's not skinny.
No, you're making fun of the women.
You're going Barkley.
Wisconsin.
I'm not making fun of them. They're healthy, thick.
They're big Norwegian women.
Yeah, man.
Big blonde Norwegian Viking women.
I like a healthy, thick woman. I'm not making fun of it. I don't like. You know what? I don't like skinny girls.
Take that.
I like a lady with some meat on the bones.
Have a sandwich.
So in Wisconsin, it's right up my alley. Those cheese curd eating ladies. That's what I'm talking about. All right. We're gonna hit a break, Rob. We're gonna talk. We'll talk a little bit of sports, I guess.
Yeah, I was getting a little tired. We need a break.
Yeah, I'm exhausted after my days off. I want to get into the Timberwolves extending the series. Fortunately I didn't have to come in and talk about the Celtics and the Pacers. What a garbage series. The Pacers should be ashamed of themselves. Tyrese Halliburton faking an injury. It's just disgusting. Like he's like, oh, we're down 2-0. My arm, my leg, my alarm, my egg, whatever. It was just a joke. At least Minnesota showed a little bit of fight. We'll talk about that on the other side and so much more Dak Prescott discussion today. Talk about Tua. We're going to talk about the Broncos' terrible, dreadful, not good at all quarterback situation and how Sean Payton's trying to spin it into something decent.
They got the guy they wanted, AJ. They chased that guy from the get-go.
They got the guy?
They got the guy they wanted.
They got the guy they wanted. We'll do that and more. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
The Magical Orlando Family Vacation Contest is a company-wide contest for your chance to win 4 tickets to Disney World. No purchase necessary to enter or win. One winner will be chosen at the end of the contest. Contest is only open to U.S. residents 18 years or older. Contest is sponsored by participating Alpha Media stations, audience or their parent, subsidiary, and affiliate entities, Alpha or audience employees, advertising agencies, promotional partners, and members of families or households are not eligible to enter or win. Odds of winning depend on the number of entries received. Contest is subject to all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations. Void where prohibited. Participants must sign all contest, release, and waiver forms to be eligible to win the prize. The contest begins Monday, May 20th and runs through Friday, June 7th. To enter, you must fill out the designated form on our website at sasportstar.com. Contest sponsors are not responsible for technical failures or malfunctions of any kind. For full contest rules, please visit sasportstar.com. Decisions of station management with respect to the contest are final.
The
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Did I tell you about the electrician that got a Woody when I was showering outside a few months ago?
What? It's wrong on every level.
And I'm out there showering, and I noticed that the electrician's over on this other garage at 5 a.m. working. And I was like, he'll see me and he'll go away.
He'll go away.
I think he thought we were having a gay moment.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. I got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff.
Oh, great. We have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight. We have cutters. And, hey, what the?
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationship with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say.
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, summer is our season. And we're kicking it off with a free 12-ounce Island Punch smoothie for National Flip Flop Day. Grab your flip-flops and head to your local cafe on May 29th from 2 to 7 p.m. Terms and conditions apply.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Introducing Lumi for Men, and we named him Mando. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the inventor of Mando Whole Body Deodorant for pits, packages, and feet. Because we all know our pits aren't the only place we get odor. Mando Whole Body Deodorant is different from anything you've ever tried before. It stops odor before it starts, powered by our acidified technology. Mando controls odor anywhere you have it. My patented whole body deodorant formula has over 200,000 five-star reviews. And because Mando has a 60-day stink-free guarantee, you can try Mando risk-free. Give Mando whole body deodorant a try today and smell like the stink-free man you were intended to be.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 1515 and get an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, 2 free products of your choice, and ships free with code 1515. Go to shopmando.com, code 1515, for an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack. That's shopmando.com, code 1515.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime! Showtime! Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ Hoffman. I'm the new guy. Some people would refer to me as.
That's not a bad thing to be known as.
Listen, man.
Could be worse.
I've been putting in my time.
The old guy is not what you want to be known as.
Well, that's true.
Some
better. People think I'm older than you.
Those poor
They said, look at that. One of them's got a luxurious head of hair.
Yes.
The other guy's got none. And you know what? I'm going to let it be a mystery of which one of us is actually older.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think it's fairly obvious.
To some.
Well.
To some. But, there is that.
We don't know what color would be on the dome. It could be.
I
can tell, but there'd be a little gray.
Yeah, maybe a little salt.
It could be
a little salt with the pepper.
It could be Johnny
I
Cash.
might look exactly like you.
Fabulous hair.
I might look exactly like you.
You might,
but we'll never know.
Unfortunate.
I like to keep my stuff tight. So
and I'm bouncing all over the place.
That's right.
Man.
The Minnesota Timberwolves survive, and there will be a game 5. Thank goodness, because this was rounding up to be a pretty bad conference championship season if we had 2 sweeps. But I don't know. Just that game last night felt, and this is as someone who, at the beginning of the playoffs was saying Timberwolves they're gonna play in the championship. I don't think that anymore. It feels like the Mavericks are well on their way, and this just felt kind of like a bump in the road. They didn't play their best. This series feels less like Anthony Edwards is just going to be able to pile everybody on his back and carry him. Although he had a great game yesterday, but there's something missing, and maybe it doesn't feel as 3-0. But the swagger that Anthony Edwards had feels weakened, I guess, which I guess it should.
It feels like he's chasing it, like he's trying to get it. He's, I'm going to scream louder. I'm going to try harder to get that, whatever that was, back.
If it works, it's going to be an awesome story. I just don't. I mean, teams don't come back from 3-0.
Boy, they had to work their ass. I know it's a road playoff game, and putting a team to bed on a like that.
When you lose your first 2 at home, you can't be like, oh, yeah, it was a real tough one on the road. Well, you had some easy ones and you blew them.
Yeah, they had to work really hard last night, and Dallas had to be really bad for this to work. Now, it doesn't mean that I heard Naz Reid said it. If there's a team that could do it, I'd say the Timberwolves are certainly on the short list, that they're capable of it.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like such hard work, and Cat had to be perfect. And Anthony, listen, the 20 points in the second half was it? I mean, he had to really be everything that he's capable of.
Well, he had to not be a trash can like he was in the first 3 games.
Oh, yeah. And it took all of that. And then it had to also be Luka and Kyrie I don't know if they were due for a game like that, but they certainly acted like they had a safety net. They didn't act like do or die. It never felt like, even at the end when they had a chance, when it was right there at 3 and Luka had the free throw, that there was even a prayer. There was never the vibe that they were going to win. About the middle of the into the third, you just kind of feel it slipping away, and there just wasn't. They were hoping for a big play, a big dunk, something to turn it on. Nah, it wasn't there, and they didn't have to. They just walked off like it's another night. We'll get them tomorrow.
Karl Anthony Towns, 4 of 5 from 3-point land after going 3 of 22 in the first 3 games of the series from behind the arc. Much better showing. He did foul out of the game. Was in early foul trouble and pretty much stayed in foul trouble the whole game. But 30 minutes of work, got up 25 points. He had a good game. Edwards had a good game. This is the kind of game you expect your stars to show up in when you're down 3-0. And if you want to at least pretend like you're being serious about trying to win the series, you got to have those guys show up, and they did, to their credit.
Derek Lively, want to talk about a guy who got a raise just for not showing up to work. Without Derek Lively, Karl Anthony became Karl Anthony Towns, the big cat.
Yeah, and it's going to be curious to see what I mean.
Better put a neck brace on him and get him back on a court.
Yeah, get him some kind of shot I don't know what they can do, but Gafford, who had some moments and actually offensively played a pretty good game yesterday. But I mean, you talked about it, about the way they had a big to battle Cat and they had a big to battle Gobert. And then I don't think it's a coincidence that Karl Anthony Towns had such a good game yesterday.
It was impressive in it by his absence, how well Lively has played defensively.
But also, this was just one of those games where Kyrie wasn't very good and Luka wasn't very good and PJ Washington wasn't very good. And when the three guys who have carried you offensively throughout the playoffs are all bad in the same day and you lose by 5 points, you're probably okay. You're probably going to do okay. I've mostly been looking at how the Timberwolves or how the Mavericks are going to match up with the Celtics more than I'm even looking at what's going to happen in this series. And that might come back and
yeah, you wonder. That's those are famous last words, right?
And I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it because I'd love to see a competitive series. It just doesn't look like it's going to happen because it took everything going right for Minnesota and everything going wrong for Dallas, and it was a pretty damn close game as it was. So later on in the program, we'll discuss what the odds are of Minnesota finishing off the comeback. It's never happened in the NBA, right? No, 3-0 is never.
Maybe once.
Has it?
Not in the finals, I'm pretty sure.
155-0 or something
So
like that.
Yeah.
So it's never happened. When do the finals begin? June 6th?
Next Thursday.
Oh, man.
It's already determined?
Yeah, they already know because, availabilities. So they've already scheduled the beginning. So we need a couple more games. Come on, T-Wolves.
There'll just be no basketball for
no basketball till Thursday. Where are they going to go and huddle up and have a little mini camp, go to Hawaii?
I mean, what a disaster for the NBA that would be.
Talking about losing steam.
Oh, meanwhile, hockey's getting overtime every game. Like they can't finish a game. They cannot finish a game in regulation. And the NBA is like, yeah, we had a close game a couple weeks ago.
Pacers quit a week before they were out.
Yeah. Oh, man. They should have drugged the Knicks out there.
Seriously, they needed it.
Knicks with, guys missing legs and everything else would have been more competitive than the Pacers. Yeah. All right. Let's hit a break. I want to jump into some stuff with Dak. There's a list out. PFF put out a list of the top quarterbacks in the NFC. Boy, I was surprised on Dak Prescott's placement on this list. And Rob's making a face like,
yeah, I can make numbers tell you anything. Give me the numbers long enough. I can give you the right answer.
Well,
you know what I mean?
We'll check Rob's math on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, Wednesday is one of my favorite days for a couple of reasons. One of them is Wednesdays with Wade.
Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, will join us, and Joe's going to ask him, why do you go for 1 or 2 or 3?
Exactly.
How do you figure that out? They're getting ready for the playoffs, and can they end up hosting a playoff game? Plus the latest on the NBA playoffs.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit. Credit for deciding while stuck in traffic to get a bachelor's degree, Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. Students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. Plus, get your application fee waived through May 31st. Flexible online and hybrid classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHEV.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Get to your local Twin Peaks Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 and score some sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, and of course cheap shots. Freezing cold 29-degree cold beer. Of course we expect that. And you need more? How about a snack? Twin Peaks has select apps for 2, 4, and 6. And you can always come back for the late night specials. Why would you even leave for the reverse happy hour? No one does happy hour quite like Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and all those scenic views.
Ooh, I'm so ready for this weekend away with my girls.
Hey, hit the road. How about some free gas?
Free gas? How?
Try new Febreze car for some serious freshness, and you can win gas for a full year. Visit Febreze.com to learn more.
Say less.
You may not win, but you're gonna have a fresh smelling whip.
Thanks, DJ Fresh. Now how about some music?
Hey, yo, this next one goes out to new Febreze car for giving you a chance to win free gas.
La 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 la.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 to enter in 73124 for rules and how to enter. Visit Febreze.com.
Summer starts now with Memorial Day appliance savings at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off. Plus, save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances from brands like KitchenAid. And right now, you can double your savings when you spend $2,500 or more. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Offer valid through 6/5. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Feel that? Yeah, Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Grooving, baby. Grooving and moving. Dakota Prescott still in the poorhouse. Nobody's giving him his money. Nobody's giving him that money. I don't get it, man. Give that man his money. Still waiting patiently, I think, and saying all the right things.
I want to ask you a question
Ask
before we go
away.
further. You're the his agent there at CAA.
Okay.
They're sitting in that office in Hollywood and they deal with movie stars and all of that. And you've got a client that
I want Matt Damon money.
Well, okay. So let's apply the reasoning.
All right.
So the Matt Damon money. Why would now this is kind of counter to I think the conversation right now. But the more you look at this, and if you look at it the way that he's talking about, like this is a business decision, I'm leaving it up to my agent, which is all lies. But I mean, that's the thing you say. It does Dak Prescott no good to sign a contract at any point, even till through the season. Why would I sign with the Cowboys? Because as we question every day, with every passing minute, it's like real estate. It's going up.
Yeah, and he's in good position now where just get paid more next year.
And now there are numbers to back his stance that he can literally fall back on the trusted God's evidence of greatness that Pro Football Focus is. Like, here's the numbers, dude. So now I got the numbers to back it. I'm the next guy up, and you need me more than you need water.
This is the wildest part of what you just said. He could be statistically nowhere close to what he was last year and make more money in next offseason than he would if he signed today. Like he could have a I don't know that he could be like Jameis Winston level, but
nearly, yeah.
If he came out and he had a season where he played like Geno Smith played last year, like not garbage, but not great, and he would still be in position to get paid. And
so maybe we shouldn't just lay all the blame at Jerry, because it does take two to tango. And if I'm his agent, I ain't talking to you. I got nothing to say unless the first thing out of your mouth starts with a 60.
Jeez. I mean, if I'm still in that position where I'm Dak Prescott's agent and a number with 60 comes up, I feel like I'm stealing. But I mean, what am I going to do? Say no?
I feel like that every morning.
What am I going to do? Pass?
I haven't, and I ain't stealing that much, but so it hadn't slowed me down. I don't think it would affect Dak's outlook at all.
I don't think so either.
Nah, I don't think he worries about stealing.
Listen, man, it's such a weird position the Cowboys are in. I've been thinking about like what my stance is on this. I've almost reached the point where I think the best thing for the Cowboy to do is start over. And that no Cowboy fan probably wants to hear that.
I think there's a few. I think there's more than you think, AJ. I think in the back of a lot of our minds, it's kind of, you know what? I'm just done. If he stayed, I wouldn't be mad at it. But if he walked away, I wouldn't be all that upset either.
Because this is the thing. If your goal is to win a Super Bowl, and I think most Cowboy fans, that's probably what they think the goal should be.
Well,
if the goal is to win a Super Bowl, do you still think you're going to do it with Dak Prescott?
He could. No more than anybody else other than a guy named Joe. I mean, 3 or 4 guys, Joe, Pat, those guys. No, he could. Why not? There's 10 guys like him that could.
Yeah. Are any of those other guys 30?
No. Well, no. I mean, that's the point, right? I mean,
the thing is, usually by the time you're 30, if you're a Super Bowl type of guy, you've done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we can look at guys like Lamar Jackson and say, hey, he's still got upside. Yeah, I could see Josh Allen or Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow. You can look at those guys and say, yeah, there's still some time. Like,
what about Stafford?
He's the exception to the rule.
He might be the only one out there. We go, it's still a chance.
Well, Stafford did it. Like he was kind of in the boat that Dak was, and everybody had kind of written off that he could do it, and then he did it. He had to change locations to do it. But maybe that's what Dak needs. Maybe Dak needs a fresh start. I don't know. But remember, the pedigree of Matt Stafford was so different than the pedigree of Dak Prescott. Like, Matt Stafford was labeled for greatness. Right. He was 1-1. Like, he was the guy that he was supposed to be that good. Dak, whatever Dak does for the rest of his career, it's almost like Tony Romo. Like, Tony Romo didn't have to win a championship to have a successful career compared to the expectations that were on him. Like, Tony Romo, by any accounts, you get a guy, an undrafted guy, and he did what he did. That's a hell of a career. Dak, a 4th-round pick, that's a hell of a career already in the books. If you're picked 1-1, Andrew Luck's career is a disappointment. Like, I mean, there's a hell of a lot of players who would love to have Andrew Luck's career, but it's a disappointment because he was picked 1-1.
But I think after a couple of years, you recalibrate and the expectations are different. I agree with you. Rookie year, second year, different trajectory, different stuff. But 3 years into this, the stagger's been made up, man. I mean, yeah, he started on the outside or on the inside and had a long way to catch up to Stafford. But after a couple, 3 years, dude, you're all doing the same thing. You all had the same coach, and you have all had. It's time to do something different. Now, you're right. When you talk to your grandkids, I was undrafted and did all that. But that's a conversation you have after you hang it up. Right now, you're a letdown, bruh. You are nothing other than unfulfilled expectations because of your early success. You made up the stagger. Congratulations. Now go win one, or you've let us down because you're even with everybody else.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the other thing. Once you're paid like a superstar, you got to start delivering like one.
And not that he hasn't. I think he's earned the dollars he's been paid. He has.
But Russell Wilson's a great example of this. Before Russell Wilson got his mega deal, Russell Wilson was looked at like a god king because he won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got paid, and all of a sudden the expectations had changed on Russell Wilson, and he didn't meet those expectations, still hasn't met those expectations again. So that payday, the first one it changes the perspective. Dak Prescott's no longer a 4th round pick.
Right.
You're
an MVP caliber. Where's the Super Bowl quarterback?
And that's the climb he's got to have. The question is, at 30, should we know if he is that or not? And if he's not it at 30, do we think he's going to be it at 36? Because that's what you're talking about paying him till, right?
Yeah. As an old guy, I'm hoping, I keep thinking that we do need to kind of adjust our expectations for the 30-year-old athlete because science and technology and, all the other things. But no, quarterback still has this relatively brief lifespan that by 30, you are who you were.
The truth is, I mean, Tom Brady is an exception to every rule. And you can say, well, Brady did it. Listen, and this is what I tell Jets fan, like when Jets fan is like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, we're winning this. It's like, dude, Aaron Rodgers hadn't won a Super Bowl in a long time. I got news for you. Aaron Rodgers isn't getting better. Like Aaron Rodgers is not Tom Brady because no one's ever been like, if you take a look at the year that Tom Brady won in Tampa, I forget what age it was, but it was like 42 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You take a look at the next best season of a quarterback over the age of 40, and it's like, I mean, the guy's he's a borderline starter. Like there's guys in the league who'd be like, oh, you get washed out of the league playing like that. Once you're 40, you're done. You get into your late 30s, it's like there's a steep decline.
And it's also the skill set that got you great. Brady was never mobile. It wasn't. No. I mean, his arm might never degraded. He always had the strong arm. Everything else got a little bit slower, but that was never the question.
That's why
Aaron's a mobile dude. Aaron's a guy that requires and needs other skills that do degrade quicker. And the arm held on for Brady, and probably the same for Aaron. But the wheels start to fall off, literally.
And that's why if that's part of your game, you better win early. Unless you're like Steve Young. So, I mean, but again, these are exceptions to the rules. John Elway, exceptions to the rules. And if you're just thinking, well, maybe Dak's the next John Elway.
Dreamed of 40.
No.
I mean, those guys thought of those guys playing at 40. They'd be in wheelchairs now.
Now, I don't know, man. I know it's hard to say hit the reset button. Nobody likes that. I know Jerry wouldn't like that. But man.
But I mean, we're just now coming off that Super Bowl glory.
What Super Bowl glory?
I mean, we're still hanging on to 96, man.
We have established the championship program. It's just not the world championship yet.
Reset. You want to go down the list of quarterbacks the Cowboys have reset from?
There's a lot of them.
There's a guy named Kitna in that list.
But that's what you do, right?
Right. So, we act like it's going to be an impossible. How can we possibly reset with all this talent? Hey, we've hit that reset button. In fact, it's kind of worn down now. It's been 30 years.
It just says
reset a few times.
There's just an R, an E.
That's it.
Half another E and a T. The
it's kind
S
of like
and
the grooved in worn. Like, let's rewind that one more time. Oh, nope. Can't do it anymore.
Well, listen, man, it's not fun, but if you're not winning a title, what are you doing? And I think the Cowboys are reaching that point where, this is what happened in Seattle. And have they found the magic yet? Nope. But they decided that, well, Russ isn't winning us anymore. Let's move on and see what we can start to try to stick, because they had to break down their team around Russ when they paid him. That's what happens when you pay these guys big money. It's really hard to maintain a team around them. And if you don't think Dak is good enough to carry a team, that's the thing. If you're super well paid and you can carry a team, it's one thing. Can Dak carry a team? Can he take a team, a not all that talented team, like Patrick Mahomes has done the last couple of years? You think the Chiefs have the Chiefs have a top 15, 20 non-quarterback roster, maybe
at best.
Yeah, like, so if you say, okay, what's the Cowboys non-quarterback roster right now? It's solid, not spectacular, but I don't know, probably top 10. You pay Dak what Dak's going to get paid, 60 mil or whatever. It's going to be top 15, then top 20. And then you're running out there with a bunch of guys hoping Dak can carry you.
The more we've talked about this today, and over the last 48 hours, as I've heard Dak talk, from the time he said, it's not about the money, I've started to take. There's something about me. I'm wanting to advocate for Prescott right now.
Okay.
And everything that I keep hearing everybody talk about is from the Cowboy perspective. And you better not be looking at it from the Cowboy perspective. You better reverse the view on this. Everything has to be viewed at, when we're talking about this contract from now on, has nothing to do with what the Cowboys want or need. This is all about Dak's requests for what they're going to do to allow them, for him to grace them with his presence. That's what this is from now on. It's nothing about what the Cowboys need from Dak. This is all about what Dak needs from the Cowboys.
All right. 7:00. We're going to get more into this. We're not going to have time to dig into this. I want to dig into this. We're not going to have time in the next segment. Quick segment coming up next. 7:00. We're going to get into more of what Rob's talking about right here, because I think he's right, but it also feels weird to say it. So we'll talk about that. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Score a trip for four to Orlando's most magical theme park, including airfare and hotel. Register now to win at SanAntonioSportsStar.com.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
These guys around the country made a fan page for us. So, Rico Suave, what is it that stimulated you about our program?
It's a love of the show, man.
What would you like to see us do more of, since you're a P1 listener?
Girls on trampolines during the break there, pre-K.
Man. The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
This Father's Day, visit Boot Barn for top quality gifts that pay tribute to the lasting heritage of the West. From handcrafted cowboy boots and American-made felt hats to durable jeans and outdoor gear, our in-store experts can guide you as you shop, assisting with boot sizing and helping you navigate the store so you can find the perfect gift. Share a piece of the American spirit with him this Father's Day. Boot Barn, unwrap the West.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save, because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
At T-Mobile, you can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, switch and keep your phone. We'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device credit service and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Introducing Lumi for Men, and we named him Mando. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman's brother, the inventor of Mando Whole Body Deodorant for pits, packages, and feet. Because we all know our pits aren't the only places we get odor. Mando Whole Body Deodorant is different from anything you've tried before. It stops odor before it starts, powered by our acidified technology. Mando controls odor anywhere you have it. Her patented whole body deodorant formula has over 200,000 five-star reviews. And because Mando has a 60-day stink-free guarantee, you can try Mando risk-free. Give Mando whole body deodorant a try today and smell like the stink-free man you were intended to be.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 555 and get an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, 2 free products of your choice, and ships free with code 555. Go to shopmando.com, code 555. for an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack. That's shopmando.com, code 555.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1, baby. We're going to get into some Dak Prescott, and Rob made an excellent point that... Yeah, you were, man. It was like, geez, are you going to say anything useful in this first hour? And then you hit me right at the end, which is awesome because now I had nothing for hour number 2. And then Rob was like, oh, I got you, man. I got you. Good timing. We only have a short couple minutes here. I did promise you a story about a terrible, terrible man who has been apprehended. Cops did a good one here. I'm going to do some bad cop stories later, but here's a good cop story where they got him. The U.S. Marshals got this guy.
Oh, a fugitive.
17 years on the run.
Oh.
His name is Tuen Kit Lee. He's 55 years old.
Is he Thai?
I don't know. But he fled his trial in September 2007, got away. A jury had found him guilty of kidnapping and raping a woman in 2005.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
He was known as the bad breath rapist. What a terrible.
Was it intentional? Like, was he biting at a big old hunk of garlic and he was like leaving him like the wet bandit?
It says here, during the crime, Lee wore a mask, held the victim at knife point before zip tying her to the bed and assaulting her. The victim was found by her boyfriend, and she identified him as the perpetrator because she identified him by his bad breath. Like, she said, I know it's this guy because this is the only guy who's got breath this bad.
How bad of all? Like, I don't remember the knife. I don't remember any, but I remember the breath. How bad?
That's what I'm saying,
dude.
Like, if you're identifiable by it, like, oh, that guy walked in the room. Like, there's been guys, like, I don't know if you had this when you were playing basketball, but there was probably a guy who, when he would walk into the locker room after the game,
there's that, yeah.
The environment changed.
We had several over the years that had, it was a chemistry thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a body chemistry. It can be terrible. But if you are getting pointed out to the cops based on your breath, you might want to go see a dentist.
A whole new lineup. So what do? They put like a cloth in front of your face.
Yeah.
And you just go standing like, all right, number 3, exhale.
Up. That's him. No doubt. No brainer.
I'm getting some no, that's not it. Number 3, step forward. Exhale. Oh, that's it.
Oh!
He did it.
I mean, good for her to identify him, but yeah, fled the state, could not be located. He's made it 17 years on the run.
He must have started brushing. He must have.
That's what he
as
did.
part of his disguise, he bought a toothbrush.
Yeah, some people get plastic surgery. This dude is like, nope,
brushing up. That's all you
Listerine.
need.
That's going to keep me safe. Keep me safe. All right, let's hit this break. When we come back, we'll get into Dak Prescott and why Rob thinks Dak's holding more cards than the Cowboys. And Rob's, he's probably right. We'll talk about that and more. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue. But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. Aha. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
The fight for justice never ends. In Texas, there's only one name you need to know. Thomas J. Henry Law. We're one of the biggest personal injury firms in Texas with the money to fight for you. We invest in expert witnesses, investigators, and cutting-edge technology because the best evidence wins cases. And you only pay if we win. No upfront fees, no hidden costs. We give back to the communities we serve, from school supplies for tens of thousands of kids to food for families and pets. Thomas J. Henry. Visit us online at tjhlaw.com. San Antonio.
Score a trip for 4 to Orlando's most magical theme park, including airfare and hotel. Register now to win at sanantoniosportstar.com.
San Antonio Sports Center. In the NBA, the Minnesota Timberwolves stay alive as they beat the Dallas Mavericks 105-100 to extend the series. Game 5 set for Thursday night. In the NFL, the Houston Texans and wide receiver Nico Collins agreed to a 3-year, $72 million extension with a max value of $75. Will include a $52 million guaranteed payout. In Major League Baseball, the Houston Astros fall to the Seattle Mariners 4-2. The Texas Rangers took their opener with the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-2 last night. They finish up this short 2-game set today at 1:35. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From from the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
7 o'clock in the morning. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Big Rob Thompson in the house today.
Your camera's annoying me.
Oh, okay.
I don't like your perspective. It's
okay.
Me. I'm going from the viewer perspective, and you're in a small box, and I want to put you in a larger one.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
AJ in a small box. Oh,
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Pay no attention to what's going on behind the green screen.
Rob met quite a bit of my family yesterday.
Had great pleasure of meeting a lot of the Hoffmans.
We had a big Festivus with my family because my dad died, and not to bring a sour mood upon the program, but Rob was kind enough to come down to the funeral procedures and met my
downtown Beeville.
Oh, big city, big booming metropolis of Beeville, Texas.
Been a minute since I'd been to Beeville.
Me too. But he met my sons, and my son.
By the way, impressive young men both. I cannot compliment you enough.
Very debatable.
Great respect for a man who raises boys like that.
Very debatable. But he did say on the way home, he's like, your co-host called me biggin. He said never. He's like, no one's ever called me that before. It was
that is my nick. That's my go-to.
Okay.
That's in my parlance. That's a high compliment.
Okay. I'll let him know. I said
he's a big.
I said he probably forgot your names. And
no. He'll always be. That to me. Well, it's always been.
It's biggin and little one.
Well, no, there's not a little. You're only a big one in my brain. That's all you are, and it's far more than size. It's attitude, altitude.
Okay,
to be a big one.
Well, he was. It was very nice of you to show up. Everybody was very impressed that you were there, and I said, listen, I make quick friends. I'm a very likable guy. People want to be around me, which is absolutely false. All right. Pumba says, do cage fighters use semaglutides?
See, we had to look that up.
I don't know what that meant, but I think it's Ozempic.
Yeah, that's what we had looked it up. It's that new miracle weight loss stuff.
But no, the answer is no.
Yeah, because you guys are cutting water. It's not about a heavyweight that wants to fight middleweight.
No. Yeah. I don't think. I mean, it's like any pro athlete. I'm guessing that there's a way to lose weight and a way not to. I think this is like, and I'm not knocking it.
Dude, if I'd be down.
Chicks want to get skinny, skinny, man. Get you some.
Whatever floats your boat is what I'm saying.
But or if you've got the beatus,
whatever. What if you need it, do it. I'm not down.
Defeat the beatus, whatever it takes, man.
Diabetes.
Yeah, there's people who are like, oh, it's the lazy way.
That's true.
Listen, as someone who I lost a good amount of weight, exercise and diet. If I knew there was some magic pill I could take, I probably wouldn't have done it. That's the world we live in is like, you're fat. You got to stop being so fat
and stop trying to be skinny by cheating and not doing the hard stuff.
Yeah, and then the fat people are like, yeah, I found this way to not be fat, and then skinny people are like, no, you're not allowed to not be fat that way. You got to do it the hard way,
the impossible way that no one else can.
Come on, man.
Though. I will say this: if you think that just a shot in the ass is going to be the only fix, you'll be back at it later.
Yeah,
I mean, if you think that's all it is, no matter what, chemistry, biology wins out.
That's true. Tends to. All right, now back to Dakota. Dak Prescott. For those who didn't, some of you only joined in hour number 2. Hour number 1's early morning, man. That's the early morning crowd. We actually gave away $500,000 in the 6 o'clock hour to one lucky winner. So if you were listening today at 6:15, congratulations. If not, well, sucks for you. But Rob mentioned that Dak Prescott, like we're talking about the Cowboys, should the Cowboys want to pay Dak? And the truth of it is, Dak is the one who kind of is in the driver's seat of this whole thing because Dak really gets to decide if he wants the Cowboys to pay him. I know, Dak, please stop interrupting me. You can't just say, here we go, and like you get to start the conversation now. We already started. We already started, Dak. But Dak kind of gets to decide where he wants to be. And there's going to be no shortage of suitors. Kirk Cousins with one leg just got paid handsomely. Deshaun Watson with like pending charges got a gigantic pile of guaranteed money. Dak Prescott, by all accounts, is a good dude. He's not in trouble with the law. Apparently his breath is fine. His statistics are good. Why wouldn't there be teams lined up and saying, yeah, if they're moving on from him, we'll take him. It's rare that guys like Dak Prescott of Dak Prescott's caliber come available.
When was the last time that there was a bidding war? I mean, truly, I know Lamar Jackson was set free, go find your deal. But we knew that it was going to be so outrageous. There are only 2 or 3 teams that would even begin. I can't imagine or remember a quarterback truly on the open market. Like, go find your deal. It will be a situation that I don't think Cowboy fan understands is coming. That the hometown, you're my boy discount, that ain't coming for Dak. Dak ain't going to wait for that. This is it for him. This is the deal that will set, his great grandkids up. But this is it. There's not going to be another time. So he's going to treat it like that. And as his agent, I think he's told him, look, man, this is going to be a crazy time. But a year from today, we're going to put a $200 million check in your bank.
Yeah.
If you can just withstand it and be nice. Because Jerry knows. Jerry knows. Now, there might be some of you might want to go too. But think of the world what the Cowboys would have if Dak tomorrow fell off and couldn't play next year. Whatever the case is, was out. Where do you see the Cowboys without Dak Prescott?
I mean, they're a disaster.
An unmitigated, colossal collapse of titanic proportions.
Or Trey Lance becomes the next Dak Prescott.
Oh, I guess
it seems like a long shot, but
it probably, and the funny thing, AJ, it's more probable than what's already happened, to be realistic about it.
That's the question you have to ask. Like, okay, I'm a big believer. I said this in the first hour. If Dak was a Super Bowl winning quarterback, we'd already know.
Mm-hmm.
I also believe that if Trey Lance was, the next Joe Burrow, we would already know. But the difference is we haven't seen Trey Lance. We haven't seen his ceiling yet. At least
we don't even know his floor.
We might have seen his ceiling. Now that's a good possibility, but we haven't seen enough of him to know that it's his ceiling. I use this term a lot, and I know it's probably annoying to the audience. But he's still got he's an unscratched ticket. Like there's still some mystery of what he can be.
But don't you think, AJ, if he was even close to that, we'd have been seeing him throw every day, dropping dimes in practice, like bam, bam, bam. Oh, Dak who?
Of course, I think
we haven't thought about that yet. Nah, man, they're telling us every day in every way he's getting better and better. Nah, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
Yeah, of course, I think that if Trey Lance was the next, Patrick Mahomes, we would know by now. We see, but here's the thing: we've seen Zach Wilson. We know he stinks, and he's not running out of opportunities. I mean, and they were drafted in the same class, one pick after each other, and we know Zach Wilson stinks. Guess what? Zach Wilson is still in a quarterback battle in Denver. There's a real possibility Zach Wilson's going to be a starting quarterback for an NFL team this year, which is it borders on insanity, but it's also a situation where you can look at Sean Payton. Sean Payton's got the leverage where he can say, yeah, this is who I think is the best guy, and people give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if Trey Lance is it possible Trey Lance is worse than Zach Wilson? Yeah, I guess. But Is it possible he's better and we just haven't had a chance to see it? The bar is so low that maybe.
You know what? I'm gonna go out. I don't think Zach Wilson is as bad as people think he is.
Oh, I do. I think he's garbage. I think he's hot, steaming garbage.
Well, we're gonna find out because he's gonna
so
get the
bad.
gig. I think he's gonna be a
so
starter.
bad. But that's the thing. Like it's Dak. You're right. Quarterbacks like him don't hit the open market, the free market. It's very rare. You'll see like Kirk Cousins hit the market this year, but Kirk Cousins is also coming off an Achilles, not in his prime. Like
I think Atlanta showed up and there wasn't a bidding war for Kirk Cousins. This was one of those. It's not quite Deshaun stupid, but it's close.
It could be, but Kirk Cousins still made pretty damn good money.
And somebody will pay Dak more.
Oh,
there's no doubt in my mind. Dak knows it. Creative artist knows it. Jerry Jones knows it.
PFF put out a list of the top 10 NFC quarterbacks, and Dak Prescott number 1 on the list.
Best. Here we go. I'm an advocate, but I ain't stupid. He's not.
Well, what this really does is it tells you the gap between AFC and NFC quarterbacks, because I don't know if Dak would be even a top 5 AFC quarterback. But here it's like, I mean, you can make an argument for it.
What's the best thing that Dak Prescott does? What's the best thing about him?
He puts up numbers, Rob.
Well, see, I'm trying to, you say, what does Pat Mahomes do? Pat Mahomes will thread a needle from 40 yards. That's what he's going to do. And Josh Allen, got a cannon. What does he do? He's mobile and got a cannon. Joe Burrow, the cat just wins. You go, well, what does Dak do?
Numbers look good at the end of the year, though.
Yeah,
he's durable, right?
So
shows up for work.
That's like saying, well, is she good looking? She can cook.
Yeah.
Well, he's durable.
Well, that's what they told.
He shows up for work.
When they hired me, that Rob was like, well, tell me about this guy. Like, is he good? And they're like, hey, shows up in the morning.
Doesn't call in, which, best availability is the availability thing. But, that's the other side of the Dak question. I mean, if he's not in Dallas, how good is he?
John says ditching an all-pro quarterback for Trey Lance is crazy talk. I mean, it might be, but is being an all-pro or a Pro Bowler or whatever, is that the goal, or is actually having a guy who can win a Super Bowl the goal? And if Dak Prescott could win a Super Bowl, I think he would have done it already. I just don't. I might be wrong. It might be the Cowboys holding Dak back all this time. Maybe Dak, because let's face it, has Dak had the best coaching? And it's funny because I certainly make excuses for Justin Herbert when people are like, well, why hasn't Justin Herbert done anything? I'm like, well, Justin Herbert's had a new OC every year. He's had a dummy head coach for the last 3 years. Like he's been hamstrung by this.
And they shared a coach, Dak and Herbert.
And you can make an argument. Dak's had pretty bad coaching too. The difference is,
well, the numbers tell you otherwise. You know what I mean? You don't throw for the 4,030 without.
But Justin Herbert is like every record that you can set in your first 3 years has been set by this dude. But it's like
we can point. I can point at one playoff loss that lands directly at their head coach, not him. I mean, we can. And I think you could point at. Well, I'm a big McCarthy guy, but I think that you can point at a couple of McCarthy losses in playoffs, or at least important games, that goes directly to the coaching. So I think the bad ones that are dealing with this all have the same culprits: weird coaching and unfulfilled expectations.
And John says, y'all keep pretending Dak isn't on the level of Allen and Burrow, and that's where y'all sound silly. No,
I love you, John. John, you're a good dude. On what planet,
John,
is Dak on the same level with Allen and those cats?
This is the thing, John. If Josh Allen gets to age 30 and he still has done as much as Dak has, or if Joe Burrow gets to 30 and still hasn't gotten over the hump, then it gets into that conversation. But right now, those guys still feel like they're on an upward trajectory, and you can't really say the same for Josh Allen. Played in an AFC championship game and went to overtime with Patrick Mahomes in year 4. Like, Joe Burrow's been in a Super Bowl. You saying Dak is on that level, that sounds silly.
Yeah, it does.
Dak has not been in a Super Bowl. Get to a Super Bowl and lose it even. And I'll be like, hey, man, that's all. Lose an NFC championship game in overtime. I'll say, damn. I mean, he just hasn't done it yet.
So if I'm Dak's agent, I record this conversation and I play it back for him and go, do you want to stay here? Because this is what they're saying.
If I'm Dak, I'm looking to move. I do think there is something to, and this is you probably know this better than me, but there is something to being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys where it feels like whatever you do isn't good enough unless you're Roger Staubach. Because the truth is, look at what Troy Aikman did in his career, and people are still like, yeah, but his team was carrying him. It's like
he had Emmett.
Yeah, it's like
he had Haley.
The expectation is so wild for the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And listen, it's like it's shortstop of the New York Yankees, and now if I'm guessing Anthony Volpe's never going to do the things Derek Jeter does in his life. And Anthony Volpe may have a hell of a career, but guess what? No Derek Jeter. Like that's the bar. Like if you're the guy who plays center, you're the next center fielder for the Yankees, and it's like, well, he's no DiMaggio. He's no. It's like Mickey Mantle. They would say he can maybe be Roger Maris hit 61 homers in a year, but he's no DiMaggio. It's one of those things like where if you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, the bar is just wild. If Dak were doing this in Arizona, he'd be looked at as some sort of a god king. It'd be like, oh, look what we've got. Let Dak Prescott go do this in Minnesota. See how they treat him there. There's no question that you can do things in other places that are going to be lauded that you can't do in Dallas because or if you're not doing more, it's not enough. And I think that's the thing. And maybe Dak needs to say, man, maybe I'm going to go take my game to such and such Tennessee or wherever where it'll be appreciated. Right. It would be more appreciated. But I also think there's something to be said for the guy who eventually does take the Cowboys and wins them a Super Bowl is going to be, he's going to go down in history, and like Cowboy fans will never forget it. And it's a great opportunity. It's just, can Dak be that guy? I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
Passed.
I think you're right. But I'll say this. If Dak played for the Washington Commanders and got them to a Super Bowl and lost, he would be looked at as like one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the history of the Commanders. And like people buy his drinks for him and they'd say great things about him. Hell, they might retire his number. But in Dallas, it's like, man, if you ain't winning, even if you are winning, it's like, are you winning enough? You winning fast enough? Maybe he would like to go test it and see what else is out there in the world. Maybe he should. And it's not like you said, Rob. It's not like he's not going to get paid. Somebody's going to pay him. And if Jerry said, I don't know if I want to pay him. Okay, bro, don't pay me. It's like being a really pretty girl and you got your boyfriend says, I don't know if I want to marry you. Okay, like you ain't out of options. If you don't marry her, somebody's going to marry her. Dak's a pretty girl. Dak is he's one of the prettiest girls at the party. Somebody's going to ask him to dance, whether it's Jerry or somebody's going to take that dude out on the dance floor, give him a bunch of money and marry him.
But on the other side of that, no matter how good looking she is, somebody somewhere is sick of her.
Well, that's what they found out about Deshaun.
Yep.
It's like, man,
so there's a little bit of both in that.
Yeah. So you don't, but again, it's the devil, I guess.
I would love to be Dak Prescott and go prove it. He's done this before. He's played without a contract before. He's done this. So this isn't the first time. And he did it last time with a broke ankle. I would love to be Dak Prescott and go show it.
Yeah.
Go prove it.
Oh, man. That's worst case scenario for Jerry.
Whoa.
Dak has another year like he did this year.
60.
His 60s, right. All right, let's hit a break. We'll be back. I've got the first of my sad cop stories, bad cops. We had the good ones who found the bad breath rapist. Thankfully, they brought him to justice. I'd hate to be that dude's cellmate. But we got some not so good stories coming up. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I hope you're feeling good this morning and you don't need to worry about your weight or anything like that, or taking that Ozempic or whatever that stuff is. I went to the Institute for Functional Health about 8-9 years ago. Walked in there about 300 pounds, met Dr. Jacob Torres. There was no miracle weight loss drug there. There's no miracle weight loss cure. Even the Ozempic folks will tell you that you got to watch your intake. What he did, though, with Dr. Torres is he changed my attitude about how to lose weight and how you keep weight off. Diet's a 4-letter word in every sense of it, and kind of showed me what life was about to lose weight. I'll tell you, he changed my life in a lot of different ways. And the most important thing that he taught me was you don't have to sacrifice fun. If you're a food type, you like food, you don't have to give up everything just to lose a little bit of weight. You can balance things, and all things in moderation goes into his belief. You know, there's several different parts of losing weight, and one of them is just your calories. You're going to lose it by the less you bring in. But there's some stuff that goes on with your body that might keep you from doing that. And Dr. Torres does a great job going and checking your medical history, doing everything behind the scenes to put you in the best place to start losing weight. And there might be an issue that will keep you from that, and they'll address that as well. You know, the Institute for Functional Health is a full service medical provider. They are my primary physicians as well. If it's time for you to lose weight, I want you to meet Dr. Torres. And the best way to do that is to give him a call. The number is 210-468-1891. He'll explain to you far better than I can how and why he has been so successful with people just like you. His website is iffhealth.com. Go there, take the a functional health test. I promise you it'll open your eyes. But listen to me, if it's time to lose weight, if you've decided that either it is that or ill health, or the doctors are telling you, or you're just ready for some better bathing suit body, call him today. He will change your life. And when he does, I want you to come back and thank me later.
San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Did I tell you about the electrician that got a Woody when I was showering outside a few months ago?
What? It's wrong on every level.
And I'm out there showering, and I noticed that the electrician's over on this other garage at 5 a.m. working. And I was like, he'll see me and he'll go away.
He'll go away.
I think he thought we were having a gay moment.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
We all expect our home to protect everything we love. But here in Texas, we don't expect the ways water is breaking down our foundations and damaging our homes. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is shifting. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Foundation Support Specialists. Make sure your investment is protected. Get your free inspection at FoundationSupportSpecialists.com.
Get ready for the ultimate pop culture experience at the Ace Superhero Comic-Con presented by Thomas J. Henry. Join us June 20th through the 23rd as we welcome Hawkeye's Jeremy Renner, Andor's Diego Luna, and many more stars. Plus, capture a free selfie and autograph with 10 of the celebrities in the free autograph zone. Indulge in our free play arcade, explore Vendor Village, and rock out to daily concerts. Don't miss out. Get your event passes now at pmxevents.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store Lowes.com/credit for details.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Introducing Lumi for Men, and we named him Mando. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the inventor of Mando Whole Body Deodorant for pits, packages, and feet. Because we all know our pits aren't the only place we get odor. Mando Whole Body Deodorant is different from anything you've ever tried before. It stops odor before it starts, powered by our acidified technology. Mando controls odor anywhere you have it. My patented whole body deodorant formula has over 200,000 five-star reviews. And because Mando has a 60-day stink-free guarantee, you can try Mando risk-free. Give Mando Whole Body Deodorant a try today and smell like the stink-free man you were intended to be.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 1515 and get an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, 2 free products of your choice, and ships free with code 1515. Go to shopmando.com, code 1515, for an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack. That's shopmando.com, code 1515.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
My jam. I've missed this one. I don't like you to fade it down like that. I like to crank it up.
But it ends after like 20 seconds.
Can you find the extended cut? Like,
I don't even know what the song
Gotham
name is.
City mix.
you don't know what the song is?
No.
I'm not even sure it's a real song. I think it's a riff.
You ever heard of the famous DJ, the guy who wears a marshmallow on his head?
No.
Oh. Well,
I'm not sure that's his name.
DJ Marshmallow? Is that his name?
Yeah. You ever heard of him?
I've probably seen him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got a marshmallow for a head.
I've seen him around town, probably.
Well, that's his number one hit, is what you just played. So show some respect, maybe. He had a residency in Vegas, and I used to go and listen to that song. I assure you, there's an extended cut. Which police department do you want to know? Do you want to know? I'm going to give you 3 cities.
Okay.
And you tell me which story, which cop. We're going to do all 3 of these cop stories throughout the day, 1 per hour, like ACL ticket giveaways. 1 per hour.
But better. But
better. Better. Right. Yeah.
All right.
We got Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
San Diego, or Grand Rapids, Michigan.
See, Grand Rapids. I'm always about small town cops.
All right. Grand Rapids, Michigan, a Michigan State Police Detective Sergeant. He was going after a bad guy, bad guy, and he went into to chase mode, and ran down a criminal, and maybe got a little too close to him with his car, and hit him with his car.
Was the alleged criminal on foot?
He was on foot.
All right.
He, you'd think, This guy's a hero, right?
I would think so.
Got the bad guy, except the bad guy died.
Well,
and now the officer's been charged with murder. So he was chasing someone down on foot in an unmarked cruiser, hit him with the car, and
well, unmarked does matter in the story.
It kind of does matter.
Okay.
It kind of does matter. They watched some body cam footage, surveillance footage, and they said, yeah, we found that Detective Sergeant Keeley's actions that day were legally grossly negligent and created a very high risk of death or great bodily harm, which could have otherwise been prevented. That's a nice way of saying don't hit people with your car when you're trying to arrest them. Like you have a taser, you could have shot him with a taser and taken him down, or I don't know, you can let out one of those cop dogs that chases people. Man, those are scary as hell, aren't they?
But they're not always available. Sometimes you got to run a guy over, though.
I guess, but feels like the Michigan State Police should say, hey, in your training.
Oh, now we're getting to training.
Don't hit people with your car.
Was he ever officially trained or told when a suspect is fleeing?
I think they teach you that part.
Don't run over them.
I think they teach you that. I do think they teach you that.
If he was taught that, then I see why they did
that. But he's facing second-degree murder. Could spend the rest of his life in prison, potentially in the cell with the bad breath rapist.
Well, we can only
hope.
We can only hope.
What a nightmare that would be. He's already been suspended without pay. And the governor, the Michigan governor, is a lady.
Yes.
Gretchen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that name, Gretchen. Would you ever date a girl named Gretchen, even if she was really hot?
Yes.
What about Hilda?
Now, Hilda, again, I can put up with a lot of names. Hilda's a tough one, though.
What about Ursula?
Well, I could, yeah.
Ugh, I'm out on that.
I know a couple of, I think if you know them, I've never known a Gretchen, but it seems rather exotic to me.
I don't like that name, Gretchen. That turns me off.
Tinny word.
No offense to the governor of the great state of Michigan, but
Gretchen Whitmer.
I don't think that's hot at all. But Keeley's attorney says he's prepared to argue the case, and he thinks the charges are politically motivated. You did run over a guy in your car.
What was the alleged? I don't know if he's ever been convicted of such crime, but was he of the other party? Was he wearing a red hat? A beret?
Well, speaking generalities here, I'm guessing in the state of Michigan, where they've got a lady governor, she probably wears a blue hat. And usually anything police is very red hat. So now it sounds like blue hat governor is saying, throw the book at this red hat cop. Boy, Michigan's a tough place to be blue hat or red hat. I think they're a house divided up there.
Michigan's an interesting place. Remember they tried to kidnap her?
Yeah.
They tried to kidnap her.
Yeah, I do remember that.
It's also
who's also from Kid Rock's from Michigan. They shoot up Bud Light cans in Michigan.
Well, depends on who's drinking it.
I mean, that's
some of us like Bud Light while we're wearing other clothes. Some of us don't.
Yeah, but the mom of the person who got run over with a car, they're saying the cop is very broken up about it. They say he is a, quote, man of faith and is brokenhearted for the family. However, this was an accident that could have been avoided had Mr. Serling simply turned himself in prior to the task force being assigned to apprehend him. If he would have simply complied with the commands of the detectives, he would have not got hit by that car.
Well, that's the typical defense.
That's the defense. So there you go. We will see. We will see what happens. Apparently,
so the dude's dead.
Oh yeah,
dead.
Yeah.
Dead at the scene. So never actually tried. So we have an alleged victim run over by an unmarked cop car.
Well, this is the problem. This is all on video.
This dude's going down.
In the video that it shows the guy pinned up against a wall.
Oh man, no, this guy's going in.
And then the cop cam backs away, or like the cop car backs away after he's pinned the guy. But yeah, they told the video shows officers after they ran over him, telling the guy, don't move, focus on your breathing until the EMT gets here. Yeah, usually they
didn't scream you should have complied.
No, I don't think so. It was a 25-year-old dude who's dead, and not a good thing.
I wonder what the ceiling on damages is there for the family.
Well, the state of Michigan can't have much money, right?
Well, they're gonna find out.
We're gonna find
out how much you got. Now you don't get to
screwed.
declare bankruptcy, state of Michigan, Grand Rapids.
Yeah, this dude is 25 years old. The guy who died, the officer is a 25-year police veteran. So
probably should have known better.
My guess is this case is causing a lot of strife. I
don't think so.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I think
there's some angry folks that the 25-year-old.
Well, I think anytime there's people who are saying that the cop was a hero and should be treated as a hero, and then he's also being charged with murder, usually there's going to be some dissension amongst the.
So there are people calling him a hero.
Well, yeah, he got the bad guy, guy who didn't comply. So
we got the slow bad guy.
Well, he's slower than a car.
Well,
right? I mean, you're slower than a car.
Well, it depends on the car.
I'm slower than a car. All right.
I'll take on a Model T any day of the week.
All right. We got to hit a break. We're going to get back into this Wolves-Mavs game on the other side. And I'm going to ask Rob if the Wolves have any chance in hell. I got a feeling I know what he's going to say. It is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, Wednesday is one of my favorite days for a couple of reasons. One of them is Wednesdays with Wade.
Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, will join us, and Joe's going to ask him, why do you go for 1 or 2 or 3?
Exactly.
How do you figure that out? They're getting ready for the playoffs, and can they end up hosting a playoff game? Plus the latest on the NBA playoffs.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Trane heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local independent Trane dealer. TraneInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Bourbon and Brews is heading south for the summer, but don't worry. We're now introducing Twin Peaks Tequila and Cervezas. It's a fiesta every Friday at Twin Peaks with samples of our favorite tequilas and cervezas all summer long. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
You know, I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. There at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What do you know about this one?
T-shirt crew.
Yeah.
It says it right there. That's how I know.
It says what?
It says the title on the log.
You like it?
It's okay.
Man.
It's not as good as the last song.
You don't have hot takes, do you?
Not really.
Edwin's right. Edwin's driving the ship, man. He's got his eyes on the horizon.
Yeah,
He's looking
Edwin's
forward.
like, dude, should stop talking to me.
He's busy
doing the show.
What was the name of that band, by the way? What was it?
T-shirt crew.
The T-shirt crew. Oh,
that's
Black T-shirt crew.
Oh, I just
That's
happened
a
to be
huge
wearing a
difference.
black T-shirt today.
Yeah.
These are my people. These are my people. There's some people on the chat who don't like that we're not talking about sports. I've got news for you guys. I know everyone out there, it's not your job to talk about sports for 4 hours a day, but it gets kind of like sometimes you want to talk about something that's not sports. All right.
Well, there really wasn't that much. I mean, we can get in depth in the.
We're trying to tell you the news
game.
of the world, and you're like, "Oh, tell us more about sports." You want to hear about? Do that.
Lost.
They did, of course they did. She's no hero, Rob. 1-7. You want to hear about the new coach of Barca? I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes people talk about stuff besides just sports. All right. That's what normal people do. Rob and I are normal people.
Well,
relatively.
I mean,
yeah.
Given what I'm seeing there, we're
Edwin, not so much.
above normal.
Edwin is not normal. We're going. And yes, grunge. We'll get to the bowling championships later.
What?
I think the Westminster Dog Show was last week too. Is that sports? Comes on ESPN. It's got to be.
If the dogs are cute.
Yeah. The Minnesota Timberwolves survive 105-100. Again, it feels like they played an awesome game. The Mavericks stunk, and they still won by 5 points. Now they won on the road, which is not easy to do. But you can't be that excited when you lost your 2 home games. I'm going to ask you, Rob, is there any chance in hell that they come back?
Yeah, there's a chance. If there's a team that can do it, it would be them. But there's a chance of a lot of things happening, man. They had to work really, really hard last night. And granted, you should to win on the road in the playoffs. But the Mavericks had to play really bad at the same time to match what happened. A 5-point loss. You know, they played enough to stay in the game, and I think they just kept waiting for something to happen. I think we realized the value of Derek Lively. I think they figured out that guy's role defensively matters because we saw the way that Well, Anthony Edwards opened up and got some buckets, and Cat was open most of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So I think there's fixes there. But yeah, man, Anthony Edwards is exactly who we said he was a week ago. He's no worse. He just didn't have a couple of good games. And it's not as outrageous as you think, but I just can't imagine this goes more than 6. This just feels like a gentleman's sweep.
If somehow they come back and win it, is it going? Will the story be more? Look what Anthony Edwards did, or will it be? Can you believe Luka let this happen? Because I think that it's going to be. You're going to hear a lot of both. I wonder which story is going to take precedence.
Well, for it to happen, the
Yeah.
true would be Luka let it happen.
I think so.
I mean, that at the end of the day, if this was to occur, the true story, it would be Anthony Edwards would have to lead him for sure.
Yeah.
But it would be because Luka collapsed.
I mean, and he, again, last night was a disaster game for him. I say disaster. It wasn't a good game.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good game for Kyrie. It wasn't a good game for PJ Washington, but
you see those guys that are on slack lines. Ever seen guys work out on slack lines?
Yeah.
I mean, those slack lines are only about 6 inches off the ground. You know what I mean? You can do some crazy stuff on a slack line. When you fall off, you just kind of land on your feet.
Yeah.
Now take that slack line and go 20 feet up. That's a game 7. Last night was a game 4. The slack line right off the ground. You know, if you fall, no big deal. I'll be fine. They acted like they were close to the ground. They had a safety net. If we miss the shot, we'll survive. Luka missed that free throw with that kind of time left. That dude wasn't in it. I mean,
He didn't feel like it.
You don't miss it. Luka does not miss that free throw if he's in it.
did not feel like it. I don't know, man. The more I'm watching these Mavericks, sometimes it feels like Kyrie has kind of taken the role as I know everyone. I mean, it's obvious who the best player on the team is, but it feels like Kyrie's kind of taken on the role as like the leader because maybe that's not Luka's strong point. And you've talked before about like, you wouldn't want to play with Luka. And I think a lot of people feel that way.
I read something about his value in the locker room has been ridiculous and how he's been kind of a moderator to, and this is crazy to think about it, that Kyrie's the calm head in the group.
Right.
But that Luka does tend to be a little bit hard on his teammates, good, bad, or indifferent. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think Kyrie's been they're saying he's a good buffer in the locker room for those that have had, the young heads in there that have made mistakes, that Luka's tough on them and that Kyrie's been kind of beneficial in the locker room. And that, if that's in fact true, that kind of stuff is immeasurable. I mean, that stuff really matters. That's how teams go from talented but disappointing to being really good teams.
Both guys came out and said, this one's on me, loss is on me, and then of course everybody else said nope, it's a team loss, but those two guys said it was on them. Here's what Luka had to say after the game.
I think that game is on me. Just didn't give enough energy, so we got to do better. They won one game, we just got to focus on the next one.
No energy is a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did not have enough energy, and I think everyone could see that. Kyrie, he seemed like he took it a little bit better. But he thinks that and this could just be him being a vet, a guy who's won. It doesn't seem panicked, but here's what Kyrie had to say.
Just allow them to feel the emotions, like I'm feeling it. Be human, go home, and then get a great night's rest and come to the practice facility tomorrow, be ready to watch film, consistently get better. I mean, we've been putting one foot in front of the other all season. So, a loss like this, it definitely stings. It definitely hurts. And, like I said, to that question, it's a level of disappointment, but this is part of the competitive side of basketball too. You win some and you lose some, and we would have loved to close out on our home floor. Sorry, fans, didn't happen. I think moving forward, now we know this is just us getting to know one another in stressful environments like this. First time closing out to go to the NBA Finals. It's a new thing for us. So I like to err on the side of just giving us grace. And, I'll take all the pressure that comes with this, and I'm used to it.
Don't you hate it when guys you think are nuts are logical?
Dude,
and
something's happened to Kyrie in the last 2 years.
Out of him?
I really think Kyrie got drugged so bad. Like when people were calling him an anti-Semite and he's a flat earther. I mean, he could not have had a worse reputation.
True.
That doesn't even sound like the same guy. Like it does. If you took Kyrie Irving's quotes from 2 or 3 years ago and put them next to that, you'd say there's no chance that's the same person. There's no and listen, how old's Kyrie? Like, what do you?
30, maybe 28.
Maybe.
I mean,
He's got to be older than 28. 28 feels
well, I
young.
mean, that's 10-year vet.
Yeah, I guess so. 32.
32.
I mean, maybe he's just he's maturing late in life.
One of the things you're going to learn about me, I hate my bad guy. I hate the guy that getting my bad. Yeah, we know it was your bad. And the fact that you can admit to it, I guess, is a big step. Don't be my bad guy. And when Luka, this is on me, don't be that guy. Yeah, we know you had a bad game. Don't be that guy. And Luka's allowed to say it one time, but don't become my bad guy. And I was glad that Kyrie didn't do my bad. My bad. Yeah, we know. We know. You don't need to claim it. We all know whose fault it was. So I felt like Luka, my bad. No, I don't like my bad guy.
I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Goldfinger asked an interesting question. Do you have trust in Jason Kidd? I mean,
I didn't distrust him.
Yeah. I mean, listen, to his credit, Jason Kidd's getting a lot out of this team that most people didn't expect. So I think until he proves otherwise, he deserves some trust. I don't know.
No, he's not the same coach that spilled the water on the floor to stop the clock.
No,
he's not that guy anymore. He's actually progressed into true game management.
Everybody's growing up a little bit. It seems everybody's growing up.
It is a good point about Kidd, and we talked just a little bit about it the other day. He hasn't gotten the credit that he's deserved, and I think what he has managed to do with this team it is ridiculous. It really is, because the buy-in that he's had to get from the young heads, the trade that he made late and got those guys involved, active, and own part of the offense, and that happened late to a couple of young guys. The turmoil that goes on in Dallas, a lot of folks looking at that Jalen Brunson deal as a huge mistake, but I think both teams kind of benefited. I think Kidd might be taking a step up into one of those highly esteemed kind of coaches that players might start wanting to go play for.
I think we have to consider this, that Jason Kidd has coached the Mavericks for 3 years. He replaced a guy that had been there since 2008?
World champion.
He won a championship. He was this was a tough job to take over from Rick Carlisle. And in his first year, they went to the conference finals. They lost to the eventual champions. Not much shame in that.
None.
Last year was a disaster. They were terrible, didn't make the playoffs, even though they had a guy that a lot of people thought was, one of the 2 or 3 best players in the league. Won 38 games. Nightmare. Here they are back again in the conference finals. Look like they're on their way to the NBA finals. If you ask anybody, you hire a head coach, ask Spurs fan, when Greg Popovich walks away eventually and Joe Blow replaces him, I don't know who it'll be, but let's say Edwin replaces him. If Edwin gets in his first 3 years, gets to the conference finals once and gets to the NBA finals once, is anybody complaining? I mean, whatever Jason Kidd does from now on, it's like it's been a success so far.
So far, but you can only knock on the door so many times till they start asking for you to.
Sure, but how many people are knocking on the door this early in their coaching career? I mean, this is a rare thing.
And not
everybody's Steve Kerr and just showing up to a ready-made just pop it in the microwave and you got a title. That's not what this was, certainly.
And I think he had to learn to be a coach. You can't just be a player who knows a lot of plays. And there's a big difference.
So I give him some credit. I did not think that Jason Kidd was a particularly good coach in Milwaukee. I thought in Brooklyn, I don't know that he ever had a chance there, but I don't think they were going to work. But if you had said Jason Kidd's going to be a great success in Dallas, I would have said, oh, okay. I doubt it. But dude, the dude's got, how many playoff wins now in 3 years? 20? That's pretty good.
Well, what did Popovich said, the secret to being a great coach is drafting Tim Duncan and hang on tight.
Yeah, get some good players.
Get Luka and hang on tight.
Luka's starting to figure it out. And you could tell, I really think Luka, he was embarrassed by last season. And I think there's a reason why he came in not being fat. He came in shape this season. And it's a big difference when you got a player like that who is taking the game seriously. Yeah, he's going to be a handful, and he's coming into his own at the right time, and he got the right help around him, which is, kudos to the Mavericks front office. How much Jason Kidd had to do with that, I don't know, but kudos to the Mavericks front office for putting this together.
We say all this. This is still a relatively young basketball team. Luka and Kyrie, certainly different. And I'm starting to buy into the Stan Van Gundy, the greatest backcourt in NBA history. I'm starting to buy into a little bit of this. Now, last night, not being part of the equation. I think that the closer we go and the more we see the way that Luka is handling it, if he doesn't get there, I don't know if he's going to get a better opportunity than he has right now. I don't think he's going to get a better. He's got a Celtics team that they know they can control the pace. They know they've got the guys to match up. It's about as perfect of opportunity that they have. And if they lose another game, I think that the pressure really weighs in, and we're going to see the measure of what Kyrie's worth. That'll be the difference.
Stan Van Gundy said that Luka and Kyrie are the best.
Luka and Kyrie are the best backcourt in NBA history.
Wow.
It's hard to argue. Those are certainly two Hall of Famers already. I mean, there's no question. The best in history.
Okay. I don't know. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson were pretty good
It'd be hard
recently.
to argue.
Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars. Hell, you had a couple guys here win some championships.
It's hard to argue against and for best in history.
All right. More NBA, more NFL, more quarterback talk coming up on the other side. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Progressive, we know how much you love your recreational vehicles, so we decided to record this commercial in an RV.
With a family on vacation.
Mom, who are these people? Oh, that's Flo and Jamie. They're recording a commercial, sweetie. Don't they do that in the studio?
Normally.
No.
But we wanted to feature a family who bundled their home and RV and saved with Progressive.
Yeah, it looks like you're all out of chips.
Okay, I think we'll just drop you off at the next gas station.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Hi everybody, Scott Innes here. For 25 years, I've been voicing lovable cartoon dogs like Scooby-Doo, Astro. Hey, I love puppies and dogs. And now I get to help pets that need a voice to save their lives. That's where the Puppy Food Bank comes in. The Puppy Food Bank helps pet rescue organizations so they can feed puppies. For just $11 a month, you can save a pet's life. Go to puppyfoodbank.org now and donate, and they'll send you a nice gift. Puppy Food Bank is proudly supported by Thomas J. Henry.
Introducing Lumi for Men, and we named him Mando. American-made, doctor-developed, clinically proven whole-body deodorant, built for men, built for hard work. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the inventor of Mando whole-body deodorant for pits, packages, and feet, because we all know our pits aren't the only place we get odor. Mando whole-body deodorant is different from anything you've ever tried before. It stops odor before it starts, powered by our acidified technology. Mando controls odor anywhere you have it. My patented whole body deodorant formula has over 200,000 5-star reviews. And because Mando has a 60-day stink-free guarantee, you can try Mando risk-free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 5050 and get an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, 2 free products of your choice, and ships free with code 5050. Go to shopmando.com, code 5050 for an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack. That's shopmando.com, code 5050.
Score a trip for 4 to Orlando's most magical theme park, including airfare and hotel. Register now to win at SanAntonioSportsStar.com. San Antonio Sports Center.
In the NBA, the Minnesota Timberwolves stay alive as they beat the Dallas Mavericks 105-100 to extend the series. Game 5 set for Thursday night. In the NFL, the Houston Texans and wide receiver Nico Collins agreed to a 3-year, $72 million extension with a max value of $75. Will include a $52 million guaranteed payout. In Major League Baseball, the Houston Astros fall to the Seattle Mariners 4-2. The Texas Rangers took their opener with the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-2 last night. They finish up this short 2-game set today at 1:35. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 3. Did we decide this was the power hour, or is 7 o'clock the power hour?
I think any hour we're currently in.
I think that's a good move. 8 o'clock, it is the power hour right here on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, wacky morning show. Power hour.
We got concert tickets. We could
hell yeah,
more powerful.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's give them away. Should we get? I was thinking about giving away to the brigade board, but they're all mad at me for talking about something besides
You
sports.
gotta talk some sports, man. And if you start talking music, things are going to go.
Man, yeah, they don't care about music on the brigade bar. They only care about sports. So this is for the phoners. Since the brigade bar,
Now, our phones work.
Do they?
We're sure. We have confirmation that
They should work.
Have you called anybody today?
No.
No personal phone calls on your work time?
James Pledger said it works, so I'll take his
Well,
word.
we'll trust him, because yesterday I felt very bad for the good folks on Tesla's current roster of musicians that no one called in. I felt horrible for those folks, but turns out it was technical issues.
You want to go see Tesla? Damn right you do, baby. We're going to give you a pair of tickets to go see Tesla, the Keeping It Real tour, live June 5th at the Aztec Theater. If you don't win them, you can buy them, livenation.com. What's your favorite Tesla song, Rob?
We tried to research that yesterday, and it turns out I don't have one.
What?
We were trying to write. Well, we didn't get into it because neither one of us had a very good grasp on the entire landscape of hair bands of the 80s.
When you
90s.
say neither one of us, who? You were
Ryan Eagle. We were celebrating the great Tesla-ness. I wasn't trashing Tesla, Gilbert. I don't know enough about them to actually trash them. I do know they're a metal band. I mean, a hair band of a particular era. And, if you're down with that, which many were, I'm sure you have a favorite. I don't know any Tesla music at all, brother.
I know about Modern Day Cowboy and The Way It Is. I can't name any other Tesla songs. I'll be honest, maybe a little before my time.
I think that they were right of my time, but I was in a different genre, whatever
You were into. Rob was super into the New York hip hop scene. Rob, there's photos of him walking around with a boombox on his shoulder, and he carried a breakdancing mat. He'd throw down and do spinneroonies.
We called him that too.
Spinneroonies?
Spinneroonies.
That Booker T taught me that. Pro wrestler. He said that's what you call spinneroonie. But that's what Rob was doing back in those days. So he wasn't rocking out like you Tesla heads.
Yeah, on the hard Scrabble streets of the Southwest
but
side of town.
somebody, one of these guys out here wants to go to
I
Tesla.
guarantee you there's a lot of people that covet these.
Rob and I might be at the Tesla
We
show.
might
I don't
be.
know. It might be. Might be standing in the back smoking reefer.
Or part of the opening band. Might have my own
Might be.
tribute band.
Might be. Let's go caller number 5. I'm gonna make things easy on Edwin. I almost said caller number 48, but
In honor of Anthony Edwards.
In honor of Anthony Edwards.
yeah, exactly that. That's what I was thinking.
Mhm.
You're right.
It all comes together.
You're right. So there you go. Winner, caller number 5. You're going to see Tesla's Keeping It Real tour
at the Aztec.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait till you get
They
the chance
care.
to see the Aztec.
Do they care if you smoke weed in the back of the Aztec?
It's not frowned upon at all. I
Good.
managed to step into a Snoop show there. A couple
What?
years back. It's not. They don't care.
I would imagine at a Snoop show they don't care.
No.
But being the super tall white guy at the Snoop show, you probably kind of stuck
you
out
go
a
to
little.
Snoop show. No, I'm not the tallest guy in the room. Strangely enough.
But were you the
I
tallest
kinda go-
white guy in the room?
No, probably not.
Okay.
There's a lot of haze. You about shoulder level. You can't see anything anyway. We're just all heads in the
You're all
cloud.
just
dude.
bodies.
We're just the
Bodies in a
zombies.
cloud.
Secondhand smoke can be a terrible or a wonderful thing depending on where you are.
Boy, that's the you guys have told me a couple times. You guys have talked about the zombies on this this road here.
Mhm.
And this is the first time I drove in from
Oh, that's right. You got a new route. So
and my new route takes me down Zombie Road
did
here.
you see? There were a few out this morning.
I saw
Yeah.
a couple. I saw a couple. A guy who, he wasn't like trying to jump out to scare me, but he could have. He was maybe like, I don't know, 5 feet from the road, and he just like sprung up out of some tall grass and like just looking around. I don't think he was even noticing that I was there, but he would have done a damn good job of scaring me if he'd wanted to.
It's like there's a homeless, like a bat signal, like they flash a sign of like a dumpster up on a cloud for them all to gather. Like it's gathering time at 4 a.m. They all kind of huddle up, break for the day. Like, where are you getting your copper?
Yeah.
Which pipes are you going to strip?
You know what? The Brigade Bar is pointing out. Is that Sign song? Is that Tesla?
You're asking the wrong man. I had know nothing about this band. I wish I did. I'm not cool enough.
Man, what a loser I am. I know that song, but I don't know. I didn't know that was Tesla.
We play it, but there's this license.
It is them. Yeah, signs.
Oh, that's
the long-haired freaky people need not apply.
They're
Yeah,
that old?
that's Tesla.
Well, that's like 70s.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was like an 80s hair band. This is true 70s rock then. Very different.
Dude, Signs was made in the 90s, I think.
Was it really? No, that's a 60s song. They remade it.
I think Tesla, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I am almost certain that song was made in like either late 80s
freaky people
or early 90s.
Need not apply. That's a song by the 5-man electrical band that was released in let's see here. Judging by the picture of I would say about 1970 was the long-haired freaky people need not apply.
Well, Tesla released it on their album called 5-Man Acoustical Jam in 1990.
Well, the 5-man electrical band was the name of the band that released it first. I think there's some symmetry here.
So I think Tesla, some people like to say covered that song. I like to say they stole it. I like to think that
maybe they improved it. AJ.
I like to think the 5-man electrical band was Native Americans and Tesla just came and stole their property. But yeah,
Do we have a winner?
You have to have a membership card to get
Billy
inside.
Barrera.
Billy Barrera?
Yes.
He's pumped to go see Tesla. Let's
As
go,
he should
baby.
be.
Let's go. Got to have a membership card to come inside, though, at the Aztec Theater, I think.
And if you're a long-haired freaky person,
Yeah.
don't apply.
You got to have a shirt and tie to get a seat. I don't think they're going to make you wear a shirt and tie to the Tesla show, though.
I'm reading their bio. This is a much older band than I thought they were.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been about a minute.
Tesla's been around since 19. Now that's weird. Alexander says Tesla's been around since 1981 or 1984. You'd think you'd be like, they've been around since 81 or 82. Alexander, you're giving yourself some good wiggle room here. That's like me saying, oh, they've been around since like 81 or 93 or, 97. And then they could be any year in between there. And you're right.
According to TeslaBand.com, they were formed in late 1981 with bassist Brian Wheat and guitarist Frank Hannon came together and named the band City Kid, which evolved into Tesla.
Well, again, Tesla's stolen by Elon Musk.
Yes.
An outsider who's come into our land to steal our things.
South African.
Yeah. But here he is taking over our culture. Tesla. Shove that down your throat. He took Twitter, X. No, not Twitter anymore. It's X now. I like it when he puts up those things that says, he puts a poll up on Twitter. Be honest. X is a much better name than Twitter, right? And then people are like, no one X says sucks. X. No one even calls it X. You're an idiot. But
we tried it with Prince. It didn't work.
No.
We just kept calling him Prince till they gave him his music rights.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's Prince. You can't call someone a symbol because no one knows how to say it. I don't like it. All right. I said we're going to talk football. We're going to talk football. We'll start the conversation now, but it's going to continue in the next segment because I got caught up a little bit in the Tesla thing. I'm not going to lie.
I want to say how you're going to do this.
I'm not going to lie. I was.
I think you're treating today like the Dallas Mavericks treated last night.
I don't think
we're good enough. When we're gonna.
The truth is, sometimes I just talk about what I'm interested in.
That's the way the Mavericks went last night.
And I have what you would call a little bit of the ADHD. So I say I'm going to talk about football, and then we start talking about Tesla, and I realize that they sing the sign song, and now I'm like fascinated. How did I not know that? And then you go down the rabbit hole, Rob.
When you've got the talent like Luka, you're able to do things like that. You can zig and zag and still get to where you need to be.
Well, that's why you're here. You're gonna you've got the talent to get me out of this thing eventually.
I mean, it's one of those things where the greatness shows by your ability to adjust on the fly.
They brought me in basically to be PJ Washington and chuck threes.
Which is a good place to be.
Rob is going to save us from the Tesla talk. Tua Tagovailoa. I also hate that Tua's last name has no N in it, but it's Tagovailoa. I don't like that.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Does that bother you? There's no N in his last name?
But I would have, if you'd have told me to write his name down, I would have put an L in it. I didn't know there was no L.
Yeah. It's very confusing, the whole Tua thing. But he is in the conversation for getting money. There is an L in Tua. There's no N, though.
I thought you said no L. So
no, there's Tagovailoa.
But it's
Tagovailoa. There has to be an L because no other. Well, there doesn't have to be anything. You can basically make up whatever you want. People will believe it.
There is no N. It's Tagovaiola. Taga. It's spelled Taga, but we say Tunga.
Tagovailoa. Let's make an executive decision for our show. We'll just call him Tua.
And what's his brother's name?
Talia. We'll just call him Tua. Yeah. And I don't think we're ever gonna have to say his brother's name again after his illustrious Maryland career ended. But Tua's in the last year of his contract, and he's another guy who's got kind of some decisions to make. And he showed up at OTAs, which it was kind of thought maybe he wasn't going to because he didn't have a contract extension agreed to. But he wants Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts money, which is top of the food chain money. Jared Goff, recent money. Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, 1 and 2, 55, 53 million. That's the names that he's throwing out there. I don't think the Dolphins want to give him that money. And I mean, I guess I'll ask you, do you consider him to be in that conversation? Like, do you think Tua is that? I feel like Tua is this might be an unfair thing to say. I'm going to say it anyway because that's what I like to do. It'll stir the pot. I think Tua's a pretty good quarterback who just happens to be playing for a really smart head coach who put really good weapons around Tua. I don't know if Tua's good or average or, wonderful. I don't think he's wonderful. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's special. But I do think that he's a really good fit for what McDaniel does. And, there's something to be said for that. But it also means his value on the open market is less, because if you're only going to work where I'm at, there's 31 other teams who don't have this coach. Makes things a little more difficult.
Let me ask you a question.
Don't have Tyreek Hill. Only one of the 32 has him.
To ponder as we go to break. Who would you rather have, Tua or Kyler?
Ooh. Kyler Murray blocked me on Twitter.
I'm liking this guy more and more.
Like 7 or 8 years ago. What a jerk.
They seem to be when I think of Tua, I think of Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield as a quarterback type. There's a type, and there's some offensive coordinators that like that type. Unfortunately, the only guy that's gotten paid, Kyler's gotten a lot of money on nothing.
Yeah.
And Baker just kind of set the market for what an average quarterback should get paid.
But is he an average quarterback?
Well, we don't know yet. I have a little bit more of a positive view of Tua than you do.
Okay, let's talk about that on the other side. Where should Tua fall on the pay scale? It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Right now, as we head into a hot week, you need to head over to Tri-County Meat Market. And, one of the great things about Tri-County is you let the meat market speak to you. You walk in without a plan and look at what they've got fresh cut, and you can take that home and put it on the grill. Tri-County's got 2 locations. Specials every week. Make sure you put yourself on the email list when you go there. But one of the things that I tell people about Tri-County over and over and over is the first thing to do is you don't have to go crazy. Go in and do the 5 for $25. Get a couple of different cuts of meat, put it in a bag. They'll have a couple of items that'll go with it. $25. There's 2 meals in there of restaurant quality beef. Tri-County, they start at prime and they get better. We go prime, and then you start talking about Wagyu Akaushi. The level of quality of meat is at the minimum better than anything you will find at any of your grocery stores. And even our favorite 3-letter one, the meat is just better. A great meal starts with great meat. That's why you go to Tri-County Meat Market. They curate it. You look good. All you got to do is throw it on the grill. I recommend this week, during the week, don't heat up the kitchen. Go grab a bag of the fajitas that have been seasoned and spiced and ready to go. Both beef and chicken, they're ready right there for you. You throw it on the grill, you got a meal, and you don't have a hot kitchen, and people be happy. That's why I love Tri-County. Head over there today, get all the meat you need for the week, and head back for the weekend when you need it then. Tri-County Meat Market, great meals over at Huebner out on Ralph Fair. Head there today, put some good meat on the grill, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, Wednesday is one of my favorite days for a couple of reasons. One of them is Wednesdays with Wade.
Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, will join us, and Joe's going to ask him, why do you go for 1 or 2 or 3?
Exactly.
How do you figure that out? They're getting ready for the playoffs, and can they end up hosting a playoff game? Plus the latest on the NBA playoffs.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Nigel, what are you doing with all this stuff in the break room? It looks like a farmer's market here.
I'm changing my eating habits, embracing good quality nutrition with fresh produce.
Folks, maintaining a healthy AC system is just like maintaining a healthy diet. Let's make sure your system is clean and efficient. Nigel, that's a pretty impressive healthy salad you've assembled.
Thanks, Joel. Now step back. The grease is hot.
Grease?
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899. License number TACLA 88589E M16004.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Talking donuts during the break.
Shipley's.
Yeah. I like a good Shipley's donut.
Man, there's nothing better than a good hot donut.
Yeah. I sometimes there's these donut places like Voodoo Donut and all. They're too sweet. I like a nice donut. This makes me feel like an old man, but I like a cake donut.
There's nothing wrong with a good cake donut. You know, we are so in love with our breakfast tacos to the expense of a good donut. You know, I think donut culture, there's something to it that we have them. There's some good local donut places that off the top of my head, but we don't really celebrate the donuts like most of the rest of the world do.
I had a breakfast taco like outside of El Paso from a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
I drove I didn't talk about this. I guess I drove from
so many questions.
Las Vegas all the way to San Antonio. I flew to Vegas on Saturday, got a U-Haul, loaded it up. Boy, day laborers aren't what they used to be. I'll tell you that much.
Because we're not letting the illegals in like we used to. We need those guys.
No,
man.
Here was the problem. So I went to the U-Haul place in Vegas, picked up the U-Haul, and there was about 6 dudes sitting outside, you know, waving at you when you haul the U-Haul off. And I was like, no, I got a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old. My kids are big. They're good for moving stuff. Then I got there and I was like, oh, it's just going to be easier for me to go grab 2 of those dudes,
both mentally and physically.
Now, I had U-Haul.
Oh, that's a big box, man.
It's big. But here's the thing. I didn't need a 20-foot U-Haul. The reason I had a 20-foot U-Haul is 20-foot is the size that has 3 seats.
Oh, I got you. So it's more about the cab than the box.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I could have had a 15-foot U-Haul, that would have been perfectly fine for me. So I didn't have that much stuff. I had the stuff to move down here to put into a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. Not a bunch. And a couple boxes of booze. But I said, okay, I got a garage full of crap. I'm going to move into this truck. I go to pick up 2 of those dudes. And I'm thinking, I got $100 bill in my pocket.
Right.
And I said, I need 2 dudes for 1 hour. And dos hombres, una hora.
Uh-huh.
That's what I said.
And
you know, when you talk to day laborers, like there's a handful of them that speak no English.
Right.
And there's one who's usually in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he says, maybe $100 a person. And I said, well, dude, I said, I'll give you $50 per person for 1 hour of work. And he said, well, I don't really work by the hour. I work for the day. A rate for the day $100 per person, which is good value. Like, but I'm saying, hey, I'm offering you a much better deal here.
Dude,
$50 for 1 hour instead of 100 for the day. And he said, I don't do it. And I was like, all right. And I was thinking, well, that sucks for my kids because they're going to have to do this work now. And there were two dudes in the back who looked different.
Hungrier.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they said, like, I was about to leave, and they're like, they're patting me on top of my car. They're like, hey. And they don't speak any. And they asked the leader of the pack, they say, hey, what's the deal here? And he tells them, dos hombres, un hora for $100. And they look at him, they look at me.
You're a fool.
And they go, we're in. Now, so they hop in and, again, no English, not even a little bit. And we get there and I tell you, hey, this on the truck. They were Dominican is what it turned out that they were, or one was Dominican, one was Salvadorian or something like that. But they had an app where they'd load stuff up and, they'd ask, what about this? And most of the time I can understand that sometimes they'd speak into the thing and then show me. And the work ended up taking less than 30 minutes. So like they made $50 for an hour in 30 minutes. And I took them back.
I hope they waved the money in that fool's face.
I think they were laughing at the king of the king of them and saying, you fool, look what I've got this money now and you got none because you priced yourself out.
Although I appreciate a man who knows his worth. Like, hey man, I'm not going to do anything for less than $100. I appreciate that, but he went hungry.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I work for $100 a day and someone offers me 50 for an hour, I'm going to take it.
Well, that's why he's a day laborer. Let's not add too much of let's not try to make too much sense out of nonsense. But yeah, one guy will no longer be a day laborer a lot sooner than another guy.
The Dominican guy and the Salvadorian
they're
guy,
going to be off the day labor circuit a lot quicker than the dude that's holding out for $100 a day.
Or they're going to be the king of the group eventually. Once they figure out a little,
they're going to organize these.
They figure out a little bit of English. They're going to be in charge of it, dude.
All they got is the interpreter, man. We'll start an app.
They'll be in charge. And one of the things they asked me at the end, because it's like it wasn't.
They asked for a review, like
it wasn't. Yeah,
5 stars.
Can you hit me on Google? Can you hit my Yelp? No, but he was he asked if I needed it downloaded, and I told him San Antonio, Tejas, and he's like, no.
I'll stay here.
No, I'm good. But yeah, he like because I didn't understand. Like I can normally understand some. If you don't talk too fast, I can pick up, and I can pick up some words. This was different than like
you start getting into that Dominican Spanish.
It's different.
It's a little staccato, man. It moves a little bit quicker than I'm accustomed
it was
to.
very fast, very fast. And I'm used to Texas Mexicans level. Two days later, boy, I thought driving down here in my Acura was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You talk about going 70 miles an hour the whole way, 9 miles to the gallon on gas. Ugh. No Bluetooth. So you got like a radio.
You'd think they'd upgrade.
A radio. Well, what am I going to do with a radio between El Paso and San Antonio? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at it. Nothing.
Get some neighborhood radio coming out of Fort Stockton and Brewster County.
I had a Bluetooth speaker that we were playing things off of in the car because you weren't getting any channels out of there, Bubba.
My wife was suggesting all these podcasts. You're trying to listen to it out of a Bluetooth speaker on the dashboard.
I was like, I'm all for these podcasts. I'll listen to those when I get here.
Because
I ain't listening to I couldn't have downloaded if I want. Like if you said, download this podcast, I would say, when? I can't download anything for at least 9 hours. Nothing out here.
It's hard to imagine there are places in this world that legitimately have no cell coverage, and you're on a highway,
wild.
like you legit, no coverage.
Sometimes I drive through those towns, and I'm like, there's people who live here
and chose to stay.
Yeah, they could leave. But they're like, no, man, this is where I live. That's wild.
Like, and got nothing. What are you doing today? Nothing.
No,
nothing.
Like I'm staring at a wall.
Nothing. And I like it. I'll do nothing
Staring
tomorrow.
at a wall. I wonder how much I don't generally like people. I wonder how much I'd have to hate people to move out in the middle of nowhere between San Antonio and El Paso and just say, this is where I'm going to live. It's like my kid had a baseball tournament once in outside of Reno.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever been to Las Vegas or been to Nevada, there's 2 towns in the whole state. And it's like driving from Corpus to Dallas. They're very far apart, but they're the only 2 towns worth even noting. Like you could say Carson City, Reno, that's all in one area. The drive between Las Vegas and Reno, there's a spot that's like the halfway point. It's a town called Tonopah.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard of Tonopah.
It might be the saddest place on earth. Like it's my kid was looking at least, it's like depressing. You talk to the people at the gas station and they're just like,
don't go.
They look like it's like have you ever seen that movie, The Hills Have Eyes? I imagine this is where it was filmed in Tonopah, Nevada. And then I think when I'm leaving that place, I'm like, there's people who choose to live. They have a motel there. It's called the Clown Motel.
I've heard of the Clown Motel.
It's next to a cemetery,
It's
and
legendary.
apparently it's haunted.
Yeah, the Clown Motel is legendary.
Like, when I told somebody this story, they're like, you mean Circus Circus? I'm like, no, Circus Circus is on the Strip. This is the Clown Motel, and it feels like a place where they would film like a John Wayne Gacy documentary. It is and my truck broke down there once, and I had to like wait for a rental car to come because you can't rent a car in Tonopah, Nevada. But they were like, oh, we could stay at the motel at the end of town. It's the Clown Motel. I called my wife. I was with my youngest kid. She's like, you're not staying in that Clown Motel. No way.
I defy you to Google the Clown Motel.
Is there like a whole story about it?
Just the pictures that pop up are enough.
Dude, that's this town. People live there. They choose to live.
If you'd
Someone works at the Clown Motel.
No, if you'd have stayed there, you'd have never been heard from again.
That's it.
You'd have been gone.
You're dead.
No.
And I'm telling you, I drove up to this place. I'm like, I there's no way. I'm not doing this. When I'm by myself, I'll stay at a lot of places. When I travel with my family, I generally stay in nicer hotels just because, my wife's not looking to stay in a dump. If I'm by myself, I don't care where I stay. It's whatever. I don't think I certainly wasn't going to stay in the Clown Motel with my youngest kid who I was with. I don't think I would have stayed there by myself.
AJ, it is themed for serial killers. Like each room has its own like creepy clown vibe. This is truly the most horrifying thing I've seen. No, you're lucky that you passed.
What
through.
a place.
Everybody listening right now. Oh, Midget Mansion. Rudolph wants me to tell you about the Midget Mansion.
Okay, on the other side, I'm going to learn
of the Midget Mansion.
I'm going to learn of this mansion, the Little People Mansion, I like to call it.
Well, it's named Midget for a reason.
Okay.
I mean, it's in Laura.
And then I want to talk about the Broncos quarterback situation because it's becoming a thing. Sean Payton speaking up about it. A 3-way battle. And boy, it's going to make you wish that you had Dak Prescott. It is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Connecticut Water Soft has been around San Antonio for a long time, and there's one specific reason for it. Because Connecticut, designed and made in the United States, works for us in Central South Texas. The water coming out of our aquifer, coming out of a well, filtered through limestone, it makes some good sweet tea and some great beer. But I'll tell you what, the sediment that gives the flavor, boy, that stuff gets stuck in your pipes, and before you know it, you got problems. Connecticut heads it off at the pass. The problem is solved before it even begins. See, the great thing about a Connecticut is you don't plug it in. It doesn't have a motherboard that's ever going to break. It only runs water when you turn on the faucet. That saves you salt, the energy involved, and all that goes along with plugging things in. And it just works. I've never had to call a repairman once for my Connecticut. Not once. I have a great warranty. I just don't know how it works because I've never had to use it. Look, if you've ever wanted a Kinetico and just couldn't step into it, now's the time. For the next 90 days, you can call Kinetico at 656-PURE, P-U-R-E, and they'll come out and put a water softener in your home 90 days free of charge. You'll find out what I know, that the Kinetico is made for San Antonio and South Texans in mind. Go get one today. Call 656-PURE. Kinetico come out and put one in there. And on that 91st day, you're going to be just like me and your neighbors. You're going to be a Kinetico customer for life. It is indeed the last water softener you're ever going to own. Find out for yourself. Call them today at 656-PURE. For all the details, go to KineticoSA.com. Sing it while you type it. Get yourself a Kinetico, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
When it's time for a brake job, go with a solution that delivers one of the smoothest and most quiet rides on the road. Napa Silent Guard brakes. Made with fiber-reinforced shims that eliminate noise for the life of the pad. Rubber-coated hardware for a better fit on 99.5% of vehicles. And quality design that meets and exceeds OE performance. Napa Silent Guard brakes deliver the stopping power and performance drivers demand in their vehicles. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
Save big this Memorial Day at Lowe's. Right now, save on 1.5-gallon annual hanging baskets. Get 2 for just $16. Plus, buy one, get one 50% off. Select interior and exterior paint and exterior stain via Lowe's gift card rebate. Shop these deals before they're gone because Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 5/29. Hanging baskets in-store only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Paint. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details while supplies last.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Look at you. You're a man. You work hard, you sweat hard, and then you smell hard. Just as God intended. Introducing a better way to fight your manly body odor with Mando Whole Body Deodorant. Mando takes a different approach to body odor. Instead of waiting for it to happen and covering it up, Mando's acidified technology blocks body odor before it starts anywhere on your body. That's right, anywhere. Pits, privates, and feet. Mando is clinically proven to block body odor all day and continue to control BO for 72 hours. Our cologne quality scents will enhance your manliness without being overpowering. Plus, it comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee, so there are no risks. Not that you have any problem taking risks. Hasta la vista, stench. Try Mando Whole Body Deodorant today. Go to shopmando.com and use code 1010 for an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack. That comes with a solid stick, cream tube, 2 free products of your choice, and ships free with code 1010. Shopmando.com, code 1010 for an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack. That's shopmando.com, code 1010.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride, guy, alive. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Lowe's knows every project starts with the right tools and equipment. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, save $50 on a V20 string trimmer and leaf blower combo kit. Now only $99. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
8:38 here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're talking clown motels, midget mansions, and all the above. I did Google the clown motel. Boy, what a place.
You should have stayed.
What a
In
place.
hindsight, the stories you could have told with your one surviving child.
Oh, I don't know. That's not, I think I'm not bougie or anything, But I'm above that. I'm not staying in that place. There's no way. Even when I drove up to it, I was like, you got to be kidding me. They're telling people to stay here. It is literally next to a cemetery. And then there's giant clowns just all over this thing. It is terrifying. But yeah, I can't say that I've been in. Can't say that I've been in.
I think you should be glad that you haven't.
Well, what's the mansion?
Midget Mansion was an old mansion built up on the northwest side. It's long since been torn down. There's a Lowe's kind of. It's at I-10 and Callahan. For those of you know, back up on top of a hill for years. It was known as Midget Mansion or the Gillespie Mansion. Built by, the lore was a circus type tycoon, little people,
a little person,
and the house was built to their scale. And back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, it was abandoned and back up in the woods. So it was
hard to sell too.
Well, yeah, because nothing's of size, and it was kind of like back in the woods. So it was a kind of a teenage hangout. You'd have everybody went grab their bottle of Boone's Farm.
So this place was back in the woods.
Yeah,
with little people. Is this the start of Snow White?
Kinda.
Okay.
It was. It's where the promontory people from. It was up kind of in the hills, and you kind of had to park back in the woods, and you went back in the woods, and it was like an old Navy captain had built this thing. Lots of old stories. It was supposedly haunted, but it's just a place to go hang out and hide from the cops.
I See Dead People says nothing wrong with a cemetery, and you're right. I mean, hell, Rob and I were at one yesterday, and it was perfectly fine
place.
But here's what's not great: is when there's a door from the hotel that you're staying at that goes into the cemetery, like it's the entrance to the pool,
like a garden.
Yeah, that's weird. Like if you walk out the side door of the motel and you're in the cemetery, that's a little. It's just off-putting. That's all.
I'm reading about some deeper story about the Midget Mansion. Evidently, there was a murder. There's more to this than I even knew.
That's why they had to tear it down.
Yeah, well, we had a good time.
Was it a little
there.
person murdered?
Well, that only counts as half a murder.
Oh,
that's
full
second.
people.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't believe you did that.
Second degree.
That's. No one's gonna laugh at that terrible joke, Rob.
Little hands.
No one laughs at jokes like that.
No one does.
You would have to be almost a serial killer to say a joke like that. Even
in Texas, we have a law that basically is the needed killing law. You need a killing.
Okay.
We need to take care of it. I don't know how that applies.
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does all.
No. Boy, you're digging this hole deeper and deeper. We are going to have the good doctor, Jason Garrett, on to discuss some of the ailments in the world. Rob, you said something about a
cadaver meniscus.
As someone who's got some shredded meniscus action, they told me you can't really fix it. So I'm curious about that. I want to ask him if Tyrese Halliburton was malingering, and what the turn or the timeline is for Derek Lively, because it seems like he kind of matters. Ronald Acuna Jr. out for the season.
So quickly, the MVPs. There's you get the ring, get the title, and take the next year off. I think that seems to be the trend.
I think that's what's going on here. Well, let's bring him on. Dr. Jason Garrett joins us on the program. Doctor, how are you, friend?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing okay. Let me ask you. I have had 3 ACL replacements. I've gone through them: ACLs, MCLs, LCLs. I've blown them all, and obviously torn meniscus. But what they told me anyway, when it came time to repair my meniscus, the first time they were able to put like a couple of stitches in it, but then the next time they were like, "Yeah, we can't really fix this. It kind of is what it is." I'm reading here that Lonzo Ball is getting a meniscus transplant, which I was never informed that was a thing. Is this new to medicine, or is this something that's been available the whole time and my doctors were holding back on me?
Well, there's a lot of things out there that are cash based, so they're probably not an option for most people like myself, like you. They're pretty expensive, so you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars. For a long time, when I first had my meniscus surgery, or when I first tore mine, I think it was like 2002, 2003. They offered me what was called Carticel, which they would harvest some of your meniscus, put it in a petri dish, and grow it so that at a future time you could hold it in a bank. And at a future time you could put that new meniscus, which is your meniscus, back into your knee. The only problem with that is, one, you have to pay for the housing of it, you have to maintain it, and then it may not work when they put it in. So it wasn't a great deal for someone like Lonzo Ball, who's got plenty of money. They can do cadaver transfers, they can do previous grafts from his knee where they pulled it out, which they probably didn't do. There's also a lot of stem cell things out there now where they're injecting it and doing things to grow back. It's kind of a brand new horizon when it comes to injury recovery.
Well, you get the sense, Doc, that's kind of a last ditch effort, right? I mean, if you're trying something that may or may not work on your knee, that kind of sounds like the last thing that you could even try for LaMelo Ball's knee.
Yeah, and if you think about the way the knee is structured, to replace a meniscus or to have another one put in there, that's a pretty intense surgery because those bones are basically fused together because the meniscus is already in there. You have to cut in there, make a pretty big incision, open it up, and then put something artificial back in there or something foreign back in there. That's a big surgery with a long recovery time and no guarantee you're going to get better. Most people that have meniscus tears, like probably all three of us on the call right now, you just deal with it. You live with it. It's a shock absorption cartilage. And for the most part, unless you're a high-end athlete, you can do pretty much whatever you want. You can go skiing, you can do runs, you can do marathons. You just can't perform at the highest level like you used to.
Now, one last question regarding the knee. Back in 1983, I had a cadaver tendon, a patella tendon replaced. Is that still common practice?
Yeah, but a lot of times they're not using the patellar tendon from a cadaver. They're using the ACL from a cadaver. So they're actually using some other cadaver, which is great. So your recovery time is a little faster. You don't get the tendinopathy in your own knee. The only downside is there's about a 2% rejection risk. So if you're one of those 2%, it's really unlucky because it doesn't work at all.
So the first time I got ACL surgery, I used my own hamstring. And
I've heard of that. Yeah,
that thing busted. So that was that was no good.
Can I pick where the tendon comes from?
Yeah, and then this most recent one, they were like, okay, clearly you're a little harder on your knees than a normal human. So they gave me some dead guy's Achilles. They said it's a little thicker tendon. We're going to use that to replace your ACL. So that's what I got rocking right now, and it's been pretty solid. It's I'm not going to lie. As long as this guy doesn't go Aaron Rodgers on me, I'm in good shape now. In better shape.
Yeah, the Achilles is the strongest structure in the body from a tendon standpoint. It can hold over 1,000 pounds by itself, so it's probably a good replacement.
I'm curious as we talk about this. What if it was you, Doc, and the surgery options were a cadaver tendon, or maybe some of the more modern, you were just talking about maybe it's PRP or the stem cells, or then the modern idea of what's being treated. Which way would you go, knowing recovery times?
Right now I would probably use my own patellar tendon like I did last time. The problem with that is you do get some tendonitis afterwards, but that's stuff that we treat and make better really well, so I wasn't concerned about that. And then I would probably put on top of that some of the stem cell injections. There's new things out there. What are they called? They're basically stem cell precursors that are artificially created in the lab that are getting even better results than stem cells. I think they're called exozymes or exomes. There's a lot of crazy stuff out there. If you look up like Ways to Well, like where Aaron Rodgers went, it's out of Austin. Even Ted Kennedy Jr., he's been going there. If you look at him, he's in his late 60s, and the guy looks like he's 45 years old and jacked. So whatever they're doing is working. It's reversing time. I would still be a little late adopter. I wouldn't be the first guy to try it. I would wait to see if other people end up with some kind of weird cancers or heart disease before I do it.
Oh yeah, and don't go to like Ecuador and get it done for cheap either. I hear that's a bad idea as well. So, Derek Lively missed Game 4 with this neck injury. It seems like it's a sprained neck. What's the outlook on him? They clearly missed him in Game 4. What's the outlook for him for the rest of the series in your mind? How long does it take to recover from something like that? And as a big guy who's down there banging around and stuff, how likely is a re-injury?
Well, when you have an injury like that, where it's a kind of a rapid movement and you strain it, likely you've probably strained some muscles. it's almost like pulling a hamstring, but just small muscles in your neck. So you could come back in 2 to 3 days and be pretty much 100%, or it could be one of those lingering things that's going to be an issue for the next several months. Problem with the neck is if you don't sleep well, if you don't sleep in a perfect position, which most of us don't because we turn and toss and lay on our side, lay on our stomach, you end up creating constant inflammation from an injury that's already there. It's not like your hamstring when you just keep it straight and let it heal while you're sleeping. When you're sleeping at night, you're tossing and turning. Your neck is never in the perfect position. And so it's constantly irritating it, which is a lot of times why it takes so long for these to fully resolve.
So if I came to you with, a crick in my neck, I woke up sore and I went to an Erosty provider, what's the treatment there? I mean, you just mentioned it. You got to balance this, 20-pound rock on top of my neck. How do I get over it quick?
So the first thing we do is find out exactly where the injury is, do a good assessment, then treat it to get you full range of motion, and then immediately show you exercises to maintain it. Because we can make you better, but there's still going to be some healing in there. And if you don't move it through the good range of motion with good resistance in the right spot, stretch the tight stuff, make the weak stuff stronger, then it's just going to keep on hurting. So a lot of it's on the patient. If you can educate them really well of exactly what's causing their pain, then you can show them how to keep them out of it once you get their range of motion back.
So like Lively, is there any problem like maybe making it worse, or is it just muscles? It's just going to be sore till it's not.
There are treatments that can make it worse. So if you do like a high velocity manipulation, type of an adjustment on an injured tendon, injured muscle, you could make it worse. So you really want to do a little more static, a little more conservative treatment where you can get pretty aggressive with the manual therapy, just not rapidly moving it like a neck adjustment.
Well, this is a sort of an opinion question and not so much medical, but do you think Tyrese Halliburton just saw the writing on the wall and said, you know what, my hamstring hurts, I'm not going to play anymore? Like, do you think he could have been out there and playing, or do you think he's a bit of a malingerer here?
It's hard to say without knowing. I've worked with a lot of NBA guys. I've worked with guys like Baron Davis, who is an absolute malingerer, terrible human being. With the guys like Tony Parker that'll sell out and play throughout pretty much any injury. It's all about work ethic. You got the Kobe's out there that no matter what they're going to play, and you got some guys out there they're kind of happy taking the money and not having to work too hard if they don't have to.
When you're dealing with hamstrings, is there a baseline test that you can offer? Like you go preseason, midseason, this is the strength, whatever of a hammy, so that when you do in fact injury, you can go back and see what the baseline was, or is that just kind of a feel thing?
Yeah, the research out there shows that you should have, for every 3 pounds you can lift with your quad, you should be able to lift about 2 pounds with your hamstring. That's an ideal situation. That's pretty rare, pretty unusual. There's situations where it's 2 to 2 or 1 to 1. There's a lot of situations, most people like 4 to 1, 4 times quads, 1 time hamstring. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's just that's what the research shows, that if you do have a 3 to 2 ratio, you're better off. And so you could test it from a baseline standpoint at the beginning of the season and see if there's an imbalance later. But really, it's more the hip flexor tightness. It's the timing of the contraction, whether or not you're going to pull the muscle. Most people, it's not because of a weakness thing. It's because of a timing of the contraction.
All right. That is Dr. Jason Garrett from Erosty. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Dr. Jason Garrett.
There we go. Now we know some more stuff.
Cadaver tendons.
I've got some cadaver in me.
That's a song.
I've got cadaver in me. That's B.O.B., I think, did that song.
Is that Tesla? Did Tesla do this one too?
Yeah. Yeah, it worked. When I did my hamstring for my first ACL replacement, because when they ask you, they're like, okay, so these are your options. And I'm thinking, well, I feel like my body is going to, take another piece of my body and work better than someone else's
That's what
body.
I would have done.
But then it turns out like rehabbing my hamstring was harder than rehabbing my knee. So the next time after that one went out, I was like, I'm taking somebody else's. Let
them suffer twice.
That guy's dead. He's not going to need to, So they gave me his ACL, and his ACL was no better than mine. So it tore too. And then they were like, okay, we're going to give you this Achilles. And now I'm solid. I probably kick people with it, everything, but
it added to your vertical. I had no such luck.
No. You still
slow degrade.
Oh,
slow
man.
and steady.
But you got your ACL replaced?
Yeah.
With
the
yours?
ACLs were sewn together.
Oh, they just
Well, I tore the MCL, which was left alone. they didn't even do anything.
I don't think
with
they can
that.
do much with it. Yeah,
It
kind of heals on its own.
Right, and we sewed together on the right knee. The left knee, that was left. The ACL was just left alone completely, and we worked on strengthening around it. But by that time, I was done playing, so it was just a matter of.
So the first time that I tore my knee is like a really gruesome story. Somebody was holding on to my leg, and I like spun back to hit him, and my whole the bottom of my leg stayed still, and the whole top of me turned. So when I sat down and I looked at my leg,
was your foot facing
my toes were pointing on the mat, and my kneecap was sitting on the mat, and I was like, what the hell? And I just grabbed it and popped it back into place, and I said, I'm good. And my coach was like, no, you're not good, stay down. I was not good. Like a mess, broken bones, ACL, the whole damn mess. But you know what? I toughed it out. I, ran a marathon the next day.
Yeah, that's uphill.
Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hour 4 coming up, baby.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Bourbon and Brews is heading south for the summer, but don't worry. We're now introducing Twin Peaks Tequila and Cervezas. It's a fiesta every Friday at Twin Peaks with samples of our favorite tequilas and cervezas all summer long. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Okay, real talk. If you want to set yourself up for a great summer, you need to get to Kohl's this weekend. I just shopped the Red Hot Buys, and the prices were so good, I feel like I'm already on vacation. I found myself cute dresses for 30% off, swimwear for my kids starting at $14.99, and adorable finds from Carter's for 60% off. Plus, I saved up to 85% off clearance after an extra 50% off. So if you want a head start on your summer prep, then head to Kohl's now. Select styles, extra 50% off clearance valid through June 6th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. Get 6 times longer lasting freshness plus odor protection with Downy Unstoppables in wash scent beads.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family plan starting as low as $25 a line. Does it have to be family? It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approach, that I like a wheelchair accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
When you ask people here, what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler? For some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing. It's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Score a trip for four to Orlando's most magical theme park, including airfare and hotel. Register now to win at SanAntonioSportsStar.com. San Antonio Sports Center.
In the NBA, the Minnesota Timberwolves stay alive as they beat the Dallas Mavericks 105-100 to extend the series. Game 5 set for Thursday night. In the NFL, the Houston Texans and wide receiver Nico Collins agreed to a 3-year, $72 million extension with a max value of $75. Will include a $52 million guaranteed payout. In Major League Baseball, the Houston Astros fall to the Seattle Mariners 4-2. The Texas Rangers took their opener with the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-2 last night. They finish up this short 2-game set today at 1:35. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 4 of the Morning Huddle, right here on San Antonio Sports Star. AJ Hoffman, Rob Thompson, getting you through your morning hump day.
Moaning. Yeah, that's
but I don't know if it can be a hump day on a Wednesday when you had Monday off. Right?
It's in every sense of the word a hump day.
Joe is big on humping, and it's one thing I've noticed about him around the office.
He's
on
a humper.
remote.
He humps it.
He humps.
He's with the best of the Aggies. He can hump it.
Hump day. You heard in the Sports Center update that Rob so finely voiced that Nico Collins is a rich man now, $24 million a year, 72 total, which is the exact same deal that DK Metcalf got.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
So now, if you want to know where he ranks amongst wide receivers, it is A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Having the last name Brown helps you get paid when you're a wide receiver. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Smith, then DK Metcalf and Nico Collins are in that next tier, ahead of Deebo Samuel, ahead of Stephon Diggs and T. Higgins and Mike Evans, Keenan Allen. Those guys, they think very highly of Nico Collins.
I don't know much about Stephon Diggs, but I get a sense he knows exactly how much you make. You know what I mean? I get a sense that
he knows how much I make.
Yeah, I get a sense that Stephon is keeping track.
What's going on?
Do you hear that?
Yeah, it sounds like a helicopter's landing on us.
Something going on. Do you think he's happy with his running making more than him?
Well, right now the Texans haven't redone Diggs' contract.
Yeah, not yet.
So, and I think part of the deal with Diggs getting out of there was he's somebody's going to pay him after this year, whether it's the Texans or who, he doesn't know, but somebody's going to pay him. Right now, he's making $22.5 this year, but I would imagine that Stephon Diggs, as someone who has followed Stephon Diggs' career recently, I can't imagine that he's thrilled that he's the second highest paid guy in the wide receiver room.
I'm just curious,
even
how
if
this
it is
shakes.
just for a year.
We'll see how this shakes out.
Stephon Diggs cares about money a lot.
I got a feeling he knows exactly his worth and yours, which I don't like people in my pocket.
Yeah,
You know what I
Stephon, he's a pocket watcher. But this is, I don't know what the perception of Nico Collins is here in the great state of Texas. I've been away for most of Nico Collins' career. So I'm of the belief that Nico Collins is a good player. There's some upside there. Boy, this feels like they're paying him for more than upside. This feels like they know he's the man.
Well, what I like about it as a Cowboy fan, this is something that is so opposite of what Jerry Jones does, because Jerry acts like a football team as like a normal business. And in a normal business, you get paid once you have proven that you can perform. You live up to it, and then you get paid for it. In sports, you get paid on possibilities. And, Nico has not earned a $52 million guaranteed contract by the numbers, but they see a guy that's headed in that direction. And in 2 years, it'll be a bargain if he stays on this arc. Well, the Cowboys just don't see the arc. They pay for previous performance, and then they pay you for what you're worth. And great football teams pay you more than you're worth at the time, so that when you're worth that, you're actually not getting what you're worth,
Yeah. I think that they're also seeing that Nico has become the dude there. Like he last season,
the safety net, the guy.
There's a lot of talk about how great CJ Stroud was last year, and you don't get that by yourself. Nico Collins in his first 2 seasons, 15 starts, and ended up with like little under 950 yards and 3 touchdowns. Well, last year, 15 starts, had more receptions. He had 10 more receptions than he did in his first 2 years, had about 350 more receiving yards, and had 8 touchdowns when he'd had 3 in his first 2 years combined. And this is the other thing is, I mean, this is when it's kind of when you don't have a first round pick, when you've got a third round pick who overperforms.
Right.
Those guys come up to get paid before the guys who were first round picks. Because you don't have a 5th-year option. You've got a shorter time with them before you've got to pay them. So if they work out, you got to pay early. And Nico Collins seems to have worked out. So the Texans decided to dig down in their pockets, and here we are. So good for Nico Collins.
They're doing what we beg teams to do. Get a great quarterback on a rookie deal and go spend the money on the edges and help him get there. But at some point, you're going to have to pay the piper. At some point, you're going to look at this Nico deal and go, I hope it was worth it, because he's going to have to stay because of the deal he's got, but somebody's going to have to go because we got to pay CJ.
My guess is, and I don't know this for sure, maybe they think there's a world where they can pay Diggs and Collins, but not many teams pay 2 wide receivers that type of money.
At least not for very long.
It just doesn't happen. So, and I'm not saying that it can't happen, but it usually doesn't. Exception, the Eagles are paying 2 guys a ton of money. It's hard to when the time comes, they're going to have to choose between Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. One of those guys isn't going to be around for another deal. So this is it's a big investment, and it's $24.5 million a year, so not 24. So he's actually paid more than DK Metcalf now. So good for him. But I think when you Stephon Diggs is looking at that, T. Higgins is looking at that, and they're all licking their chops because they know, boy, it's a coming.
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb's got to be licking his chops. Because CeeDee Lamb's got way more on his resume than does Nico Collins. So I would imagine. But again, that's the difference between being a first-round pick and a third-round pick is CeeDee Lamb was paid pretty handsomely to do what he's done already, whereas Nico Collins, it's almost like you're playing catch-up. And that was kind of the big question when Dak got paid, right? Like the first time that he got paid. It's like, well, did he outperform his first contract? 100%. But do you pay him like he was a first-round pick now who just had this run? I don't know.
So I'm looking at Steph Diggs's contract. He's got the 1-year deal. He signed a 22.5.
Yep.
Including a $20 million signing bonus. I don't think Stephon Diggs is long for Houston.
I don't think so either.
I think this is a brief pit stop as he heads
so
to Dallas. And I think the Cowboys are angling to bring in Steph Diggs next year.
Probably so. But if they're angling to bring in Steph Diggs, what's that mean about CeeDee Lamb?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. And I'll be honest, Stephon Diggs is Stephon Diggs 2 years ago was a no-brainer top 5 wide receiver in the league. I don't know if he's top 10 right now. And if he is, do I think he's going to be that in 2 years? No. The guy, he's what, 31, 32 years old? Ask the Raiders. And this isn't, I'm not trying to take a shot at Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is still a really good player. But signing 30-something-year-old wide receivers to long-term deals,
bad idea.
It just doesn't get you anywhere, man. You don't win Super Bowls like that. It doesn't work. So Stephon Diggs, age 31 year, age 32 years. I don't know what you should expect. Yeah, he's 30 now. He'll be 31 this season. Maybe he's got something left. I think he probably does, but does he have what A.J. Brown has left? No. Does he have what Amon-Ra St. Brown has left? No. I'm not looking to see how much more gas is in the tank. I look at guys like CeeDee Lamb and T. Higgins who are in their mid-20s, and I say, man, I got 5 more years at least before I even have to start kicking the tires on it and worrying.
And think about Steph Diggs waking up this morning knowing that the guy on the other side of the line just signed a long-term I love you deal.
Yep.
With a quarterback.
Yeah.
And you're going into a contract year where this is your last deal. This is it. You're a 30-year-old wide receiver who, if you have a great year, can probably grab another $25 million contract.
Yeah, probably
Probably could. But knowing full well now you're B on the list.
Yeah. Weird situation for him and I would say for the Texans, but I mean, obviously, this is what they want.
Great position. Are you kidding? You got Diggs cheap. You got your guy for the future. You got CJ. You've rounded it. The offensive side of the Texans, they're in great shape.
Tank Dell, they pulled the bullet out of him, and he's going to be good to go.
He's showing up now,
rocking and rolling. Yeah, good for him. Man, if I got shot, I'd take at least 2 weeks off.
Plaxico took a whole year, I think.
Yeah.
After he shot himself. So, at least you could do is take a couple months.
Yeah,
making it hard on the rest of us.
It's like Rob keeps telling me, bro, take your time.
Take your time, man.
Somebody should tell him, hey, man, you got shot. Take a day.
If anybody deserves a day off, you got shot.
Take a day, man. Yeah.
Lead poisoning.
You get shot, you take the day off. All right. We're going to hit a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk that Broncos quarterback room. We'll get some more cop stories later on. And more fun and frivolity. We're going to take a look at the lines here in a little bit. I got to ask Rob about some airplane etiquette too, although I don't know if we're going to have full time to get into this. There's a lot of airplane etiquette questions. I'm big on airplane etiquette. I imagine you and I have some of the same beefs, but we'll discuss what apparently the new beef is. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Oh, no.
But it's a thing.
I'm probably doing it.
It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Right now, as you sit comfortably in your office chair, trying to figure out how you get that comfortable position because your back just doesn't feel right. If you're dealing with pain, listen close. Don't try to get over it on your own. The older you get, the harder that becomes. And then those things start to linger, and then you just start to get used to it. Don't get used to pain. Get it fixed. Arasti providers are all around San Antonio with one singular goal, and that's to get you out of pain. Now, a lot of people say it, but it's how they do it that matters. Now, they don't worry about medications to dull the the pain or hide it. It's not about surgery to prolong it. It's about your body fixing itself. And for people like me, it has worked. I am a perfect example of an Arosty patient. Dealt with pain for so long that I finally made the decision to go get it fixed. And once I did, I wondered why I waited so long. See, Arosty providers take into account everything about how you got fixed. They use your body to fix itself, and I'll be goodness, it worked. My lower back, I've had issues my entire adult life. I was stumbled in there the very first time, barely able to move. Not only did they get to work on the problem, but they told me how to fix myself, and that has been invaluable over the years. Listen close, you can get it fixed. Their providers are all around San Antonio. You want to prove it to yourself, go to Arosty.com. It's spelled AIRROSTI.com. They got a map of all their providers there. I bet there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are right now. You can make your appointment right there because you know you don't need a referral, and they're going to accept most insurances. So what are you waiting on? Go see an Arosty provider. Let them do what they do, and you're going to be thankful. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Call Arosty today. You can thank me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, Wednesday is one of my favorite days for a couple of reasons. One of them is Wednesdays with Wade.
Wade Phillips, head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, will join us, and Joe's going to ask him, why do you go for 1 or 2 or 3? Exactly. How do you figure that out? They're getting ready for the playoffs, and can they end up hosting a playoff game? Plus the latest on the NBA playoffs.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Introducing Lumi for Men, and we named him Mando. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the inventor of Mando Whole Body Deodorant for pits, packages, and feet. Because we all know our pits aren't the only place we get odor. Mando Whole Body Deodorant is different from anything you've ever tried before. It stops odor before it starts, powered by our acidified technology. Mando controls odor anywhere you have it. My patented whole body deodorant formula has over 200,000 5-star reviews. And because Mando has a 60-day stink-free guarantee, you can try Mando risk-free. Give Mando whole body deodorant a try today and smell like the stink-free man you were intended to be.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 1515 and get an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack that comes with a solid stick, green tube, 2 free products of your choice, and ships free with code 1515. Go to shopmando.com, code 1515, for an extra $5 off a Mando starter pack. That's shopmando.com, code 1515.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at mrelectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're locked on The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
9:18 on the huddle of the morn. The morn huddle.
It's flying by.
Boy, isn't it? Isn't it? We're almost done here, Rob. Almost done. The Denver Broncos seem like they've got themselves a conundrum, don't they? Sean Payton's feeling really good because he's got 3 starting quarterbacks, basically. Or does he?
Here we go.
He doesn't have that guy. Here's what he's got. He's got a rookie in Bo Nix that he took with the 12th pick.
It's the guy they pinpointed, AJ. They chased him. They wanted him to fall.
When apparently 0 other teams had him in the first round.
No, he was their guy.
It's funny you say that. My old co-host on my podcast in Vegas, he actually won a nice bet on Bo Nix to be drafted by the Broncos.
Drew Bledsoe to him. There's a little bit there, a little bit more mobile, but same arm strength, same something. I see it.
Well, he also have you ever heard of the Parcells rules for drafting a quarterback?
I have. We saw it applied to the Dallas Cowboys. Didn't work.
Bo Nix was like the only guy who fit all the criteria that Bill Parcells used to have for quarterbacks. And Sean Payton being a disciple of that, they said my co-host was like, I think he's going to do it. And he cashed on it. Now, the rules are you've got to be like a multi-year starter at
a big time school.
3-year starter, be a senior, graduate from college, start at least 30 games, win at least 23, 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, at least 60% completion percentage.
Which those last 2, Bo Nix is stellar at those last 2 little bits. He protects the ball. He's not going to throw it down deep, but he'll get you the completion.
And of all the quarterbacks in this draft, Bo Nix was the only one.
Well, he's 104. I mean, he's been playing college football for 17 years, so you're going to add some numbers when you do that.
When you're looking, I mean, he clearly values seniority.
Education.
And it's funny, and I think this probably applies more to college basketball, but I think more and more the way to win in college athletics isn't with getting the best recruiting classes. It's getting the best transfer classes, best NIL, like who can you bring in, because the days of freshman-led teams winning, especially in basketball, I think are long gone.
Yep.
As long as these rules are in place, because somebody would rather have a junior that they know is a B+ player than a freshman who could be an A,
dude,
but could also
absolutely
be a D. Like with these older guys, you kind of know what you're getting, and there's real value to that. And is Bo Nix sexy? Is he flashy? No, not really. But Jaden Daniels had one good year, and everybody like lost their minds. Like, oh, this guy's everything. Jaden Daniels, if Jaden Daniels didn't play last season or had the same season last year that he had the year before, Jaden Daniels might still be waiting for his name to get called on draft day. But he had a magical year, and good for him.
And rightfully so. I mean, he's a talented cat. But you're right. There's not a lot of there if you're looking for the Parcells, things that prove to me you're capable of it.
So Sean Payton values that. He's also got Zach Wilson in the quarterback room entering year 4. Oh, year 4. And then the veteran, Jarrett Stidham, 27-year-old Jarrett Stidham, who's got 4 NFL starts under his belt.
Sean Payton got an Auburn bit to him. There's 2 of those quarterbacks played at Auburn.
Yeah, they did. I think everything's wide open here, but Sean Payton's he referred to them as orphaned dogs. They've all come from somewhere. He's basically looking for which one of these dogs is going to be the house dog. 2 of these dogs are sleeping outside. One of them's going to be his hunting buddy. One of them's going to be like his dog.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, it sure seems like they all got fleas and ticks and that weird mange thing that like you don't know if it's ever going to go away. And if it does, probably still going to be kind of an ugly dog. I don't know what the answer, but he somehow seems confident in this. And to his credit, if Sean Payton can make chicken salad out of this, I think we got to really give him some credit. Because I've often kind of questioned if Sean Payton is one of these guys who gets more credit than he deserves.
Well, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out, because last year I think he was so confident that he was going to get vintage Russ back, and it just couldn't happen. Like, if he weren't that confident, he wouldn't have thrown shade at Nathaniel Hackett the way he did. Like, he would have just quietly gone about his business and not say, this guy's been so terribly coached, and then follow it up with just a disaster season. Now you got these three guys that no one expects anything of. If you can get something out of them.
What do you expect? Who's starter day one? Who's starter week 8? And
I think
who's starter at the end of the season.
I think Jarrett Stidham starts week 1. And I think by mid-season, Bo Nix is the starter.
I can't imagine a scenario. I will say this. Chris Christopherson, this comes out of nowhere, wrote
hell of a songwriter. And there's a line for a song that he wrote for Janis Joplin. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. And I appreciate where Sean Payton is right now. I got 3 different cats as disparate characters. I have gone ahead and lowered the bar of expectations in Denver down to nothing. I think I'm going to fall on the side of that Sean Payton still has a little bit of magic. Okay.
And I think that he's going to find something there. I think between those 3, he's going to find something. Now, he's going to have to go through a couple of them, but there's a quarterback in there, and it's probably Bo Nix in the long term, but of those other 2, don't be surprised. Whoever the week 1 starter is puts up some respectable numbers.
I could see that.
Because he'll play under that protected system that should have been perfect for, well, I say for Russell. It should have been perfect for Russell. It wasn't. It didn't fit with anything he wanted to do. But you get a guy like Bo Nix, who you're not going to ask a lot of, give him a lot of short passes. You combine what he did with not only – what was the backup quarterback, the tight end that was playing, that he won some football games with in New Orleans?
Taysom Hill.
You look at Bo Nix, he's a combo of Taysom Hill and a little bit of Sean Payton. There's a little bit of mobility there. I think he's going to put together a pretty fun offense and win some football games with a quarterback whose numbers are going to look barely adequate, but be successful with what he's chasing.
But you got to remember, think about who you're going up against.
Oh, the AFC
Patrick
West.
Mahomes and Justin Herbert are in that division. It's like you got to get something out of these guys. Although the Raiders may be in a worse quarterback situation than the Broncos even. I don't even know who the hell is going to start for the Raiders.
Well, at least with the Raiders, they're still looking. I think Sean feels like he's got an answer. He just
one of these guys has
to
be. Well, if it's good enough for Sean, it's good enough for me. Good enough for me and old Bobby McGee. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, cop story, and we will we'll take a look at the lines and wrap up the Morning Huddle right here on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
These guys around the country made a fan page for us. So, Rico Suave, what is it that stimulated you about our program?
It's a love of the show, man.
What would you like to see us do more of since you're a P1 listener?
Girls on trampolines during the break there, pre-K.
Man.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-710-5220 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, summer is our season. And we're kicking it off with a free 12-ounce Island Punch smoothie for National Flip Flop Day. Grab your flip-flops and head to your local cafe on May 29th from 2 to 7 p.m. Terms and conditions apply. Febreze.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit. Credit for deciding while stuck in traffic to get a bachelor's degree. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. Students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. Plus, get your application fee waived through May 31st. Flexible online and hybrid classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Rob Thompson pissing me off this morning because he's got a great story.
Can't say it.
Can't tell on the air.
Tell it.
God, it's
The
gold
names would
too.
be changed.
It is gold, man.
I can leave you this. I wasn't gonna change teams, but the thought crossed my mind.
Let's tell this story in like 6 months with different names.
We will.
Okay.
It's too soon after what occurred, but
This is a tease for you guys. There's a great story coming one day. Oh my God, it's a great story. Josh says, welcome back, AJ. We love you, brother.
Greatly missed. That was going on for several days.
The Brigadiers are here for you. Thank you. Some of the Brigadiers hate me.
No, they don't.
Some.
Yeah, see, when you're fam, you get to talk about people, but
That's true.
Don't let anybody else talk about them.
That's true. Thanks, man. I appreciate that,
That's all right.
Josh. Made me feel good. But then Josh says that Jaden Daniels has Kingsbury as his OC and Quinn as his head coach, so he'll be fine. I generally think both of those guys are losers. But that's just me. Like Kingsbury, if you said, okay, let's give Kingsbury the perfect quarterback for the system he wants to run in the NFL, they would have said, it's Kyler Murray. Here you go. And to be fair, if you said Kyler Murray, if you could pick anyone to be to build an offense for you, who would you want? He'd say, Kingsbury, give me that. They failed.
It's the Peter principle. Cliff should never be anything but an offensive coordinator. He was promoted to the level of his incompetence. As long as he's an OC,
I agree with that.
You're a good dude, but head coaching escapes him.
And you know who I think is a pretty damn good DC? Dan Quinn.
No more than that, though.
I've seen him have a lot of success. A lot of success as a defensive coordinator.
And the Commanders will soon find out what we all know.
They gonna learn. They gonna learn. All right, let's head out to the desert. Take a look at the lines, shall we?
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
Let's start with the NBA's Eastern Conference.
Well,
there's no Game 5 tonight.
Uncle AJ, will you teach us how to bet hockey? Because hockey is going to be all we've got, really, for the next week.
I'll be honest. I'm no expert when it comes to betting hockey. I'm not. And I told you this before the show started. I really wish that I was like a diehard hockey fan. I do enjoy watching the Golden Knights play.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And I love the players on their team. I saw an article today on ESPN that Jonathan Marchessault, so he's my favorite. The Knights haven't reached out to him about a contract extension. I'm like, oh man, that's gonna bum me out. I only have one jersey in the whole world that I wear with a player's name on it.
Oh man, that's well, I mean,
and then might be a relic now. I don't know.
Maybe a reason to get another one.
Maybe. Well, I don't particularly like doing it, and I'm not going to go to any games now. What am I going to do? Go to a San Antonio Golden Knights game? We got rid of the Silver Stars.
We have kind of a relationship with Vegas. We send them our Silver Stars. Maybe they'll send.
I don't think they're trading that bad. Seems like an uneven trade.
We sent them not only the team but gave them the coach too.
Becky Hammond should be the next coach of the Spurs. Is that ship sailed?
No, I don't think so. I think that's still in the realm.
Do you think she would leave the Aces?
I think in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? In a second.
Back-to-back titles?
I think, though,
maybe 3 in a row.
In the end, Caesar looked over all that he had conquered and wept, for there were no lands left to get. I think at some point you go someplace else.
How was she perceived? Was she respected by the players, you think?
I can tell you on good authority, and I won't name names, that she probably would have gotten the Portland Trailblazer job.
Okay.
But there were some former players interviewed, and she's only coached one place, who said, no, probably not a good idea. And they went another direction.
But you think the Spurs might not care?
I think she was a little bit full of herself and the success, and was a little bit arrogant around NBA players for a couple of years. I don't think that's still the case, but I think she coached like she was Pop and she was just an assistant, and players took it that way. I think she's a brilliant basketball mind, and obviously it's been shown at the Stars level.
Skins on the wall.
So
Bubba.
I think that she will be a worthy successor if she was chosen to Pop. I don't think anybody who knows her as a basketball mind would be upset with it.
They just have to ask Wemby.
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Well, are you willing to play for a woman? And if he says no,
French, man, they're progressive. Those Euros are progressive.
Yeah, I told you a story today. They're pooping in the river.
Just to,
they're pooping in the river. They're cavemen.
Well, the moment Wemby's pooping in our river to get her, then we'll know, or to throw her out.
If they say imagine Wemby does that. They say we're hiring Becky Hammond. He's like, if you do, I will poop in the San Antonio River.
I will poop in the river until she is fired.
I will do this every day until she's gone. Dallas, Edmonton tonight. Did I sound Middle Eastern there, or did I sound French?
But I mean, it was foreign. That's all that mattered.
I'm not great at accents. I like to do them, but I'm not great at like knowing what they are, except for my Peaky Blinders accent.
Which is a good one.
I do that one good. My wife gets so mad at it though, because she likes, a lot of women think British accents are sexy,
but not Cockney accents. Not that.
Apparently
Cockney,
not. I say I can talk like
stuff.
that. All right then. Why don't you come up here, hop in the bed with Daddy?
They're waiting for Roger Moore.
Yeah,
and you're
that's not what I'm giving them.
Bully boy. Yeah,
that's not what I'm giving. Dallas and Edmonton, they are playing tonight, and man, going back to it, I was telling Rob, I wish that and the Panthers and Rangers series just had 3 games in a row with overtime. 3 overtime sudden death games in a row. You can't beat that, man.
Well, unless you've got a weak heart and a lot of money on it. I mean, you're going to have some fun, but at least it gives you a reason to stay in. Okay, I'm looking at the line. I see Dallas at 1.5.
So there's always the puck line is always 1.5. There's a money line of minus 134 for Edmonton.
Okay, I've got 135.
Okay, yeah, 134 is a consensus. Everybody's book will be a little bit different. It opened at around minus 120. But if you like Dallas, you can take the plus 1.5, and then you'll have to pay a little juice. Or if you like Edmonton and you don't want to pay the juice, you can lay the 1.5, and then you're going to get a plus money payout. But in the playoffs, I don't ever recommend the puck line for a favorite, because these games are almost always decided by one goal. So if you think you can find the winner, that's the way to do it. All of these series feel like they are ultra competitive, man. And
I'm looking at the goalies. Skinner confirmed. Jake Ottinger expected.
Ottinger's going to play every start he's playing. He's the only reason they beat Vegas. This dude's been. Everybody's wearing those squirrel masks. They call them otter masks. They look like squirrel masks to me. But that dude's he's a star. But Dallas up with a 2-1 lead in the series. This is you go up 3-1, you're in damn good shape. So if they can get that done, that would, like, this thing might be over sooner than later. But I don't have a great feel. I haven't been watching much of the hockey. I've been busy, driving across the country in a U-Haul, and for whatever reason, my U-Haul didn't have a screen where I could watch it on the go.
You'd have thought.
But Dallas imagine that Dallas might have a team in the Stanley Cup final and the NBA final this year.
Scheduling a Dallas 5-3 win on the 27th, and then the last one on the road. Does that matter?
I don't know. I don't think it matters. It feels like they're the 1 seed. I keep saying Edmonton's got the best player in the world, but they're Canadians, and Canadians never win the championship. It doesn't seem like so.
Sorry,
hosers. I would lean Dallas there.
Me too. I like Dallas on the road.
I think so, man. And I think they take a 3-1 lead and start to put the squeeze on these fellas.
I think there's $10 worthy of that.
On the diamond today, we've got a couple good ones. Maybe some target pitchers. Tarek Skubal, one of these guys who one of the things I like when it comes to baseball betting is good pitchers on bad teams, because you just see the team and you go, oh, they suck. But Tarek Skubal's when he pitches, the Tigers don't suck. They're actually respectable. So he's a minus 143 favorite today, taking on the Pirates and Jared Jones. That's an early start. You got to get that one in pretty quick, I would say. And then our guy is pitching today, Shota Imanaga.
What's his ERA? Is there a positive number on that side?
Shota Imanaga, his earned run average on the season, for the entirety of the season, 0.84.
Ooh.
0.84. And you might be thinking, well, that's like what? 2 starts, 3? How about 9 major league starts? 0.84, lowest ERA through his first 9 career starts in the history of baseball. Well, that actually, I don't know if that's true anymore.
Well, we do.
The history of baseball changed overnight. So there's potential that Shota Imanaga has lost his record. I know Babe Ruth lost a record. Ty Cobb is very upset, from what I understand. Ty Cobb phoned in from hell to Rob Manfred's office and said,
upset as to the
hey man, what the hell's going on up there? What do y'all got going? I hear y'all let somebody break my record.
Are they allowed in the same building as me?
Yeah. For those who don't know, the Negro League records have now become part of Major League Baseball's record keeping. Josh Gibson broke some of Babe Ruth. Now, Ty Cobb is no longer the career leader in batting average, right? So, and I think there's rumors out there that Ty Cobb was racist.
So we've been told.
So I don't think Babe Ruth was racist, at least not any more racist than,
Anybody else
in that time.
Yeah.
But Ty Cobb, I'm pretty sure, had kind of a reputation for it. He's probably real pissed off right now, wherever he's at.
I hope he's furious.
I don't think he's real pleased.
Josh Gibson, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Now, when are they going to allow the women's baseball from the World War II era in? Are those numbers going to be allowed in?
I think they should be. Got to allow everything.
I mean, they were playing professional baseball as best as could be played at the time.
What about, ABA, NBA numbers?
I think the ABA should now be in. And in fact, I would put CBA in. They're paid basketball players from back in the day. G League. Anybody who's gotten a check, those numbers should now count.
Okay.
I think, if we're being inclusive.
What about like the pre-Super Bowl champions? Like, should that all be?
I think if you set a record as a Canton Bulldog, that should be applied today.
You think so? The Canton Bulldogs,
whatever they might be. If you got paid, aren't you a professional athlete? Depending on, I think we should be able to go through years and go, well, these guys sucked that year, so we don't count those stats.
Well, here's the question. Like, let's localize it. Are the San Antonio Brahmas records going to be counted in the NFL records at some point?
It's a different league. Football. Well, they're a professional football team getting paid. I don't know. They're playing with the same size ball, I've been told.
Because, I know that in the NBA, the Hall of Fame is the same. It's there. There's a pro basketball Hall of Fame, and that makes sense. But I also don't know that NBA records and ABA records should be mixed or combined. And I don't know that in Major League Baseball and the Negro League records should be. I think that, they should be lauded and respected as, like you said, professional baseball that was happening, but they weren't playing against each other. They should have their own stats.
Well, by that argument, I agree. I think we can also say that if we really genuinely felt like the Negro Leagues were of lesser quality, I could see an argument. But I think most people agree that they were playing as good a brand of baseball as anybody, so we have no problem combining the two. But I think when you look back at, some of the other leagues, there was the ABA numbers should count. I will advocate that those numbers need to be included. The fact that they weren't seems kind of crazy to me, because it has been proven that those guys, they were doing the ABA and they got in the NBA and kept doing it. So I think that was enough to say all those other numbers should count. But starting to delve back into that, there's a lot of NBA years when Wilt was playing that the talent level was so poor. I don't know. That's why we discount those 40-point years and 100-point games. We don't even count them because we know. But I'm glad that they did this for at least the Negro Leagues are included. Now, are they going to just close down their Hall of Fame?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't, but
they'll also be. They're in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm sure there's a big display.
Now they just combine the two. It's long overdue. It's just interesting how they did it.
It is
overnight in the middle of the season.
I don't I'm not as upset about this as I was when they were saying Caitlin Clark is now the all-time NCAA scoring leader, surpassing Pete Maravich. I didn't like that at all, because that wasn't apples and oranges, or it was apples and oranges. It's actually like apples and potatoes, to be honest. Totally different.
Eggs and fish.
Eggs and fish, except fish have eggs.
Yeah, that's true.
Rich people eat. I had some of that at your house, at your that party.
That
you had
big
me
caviar
over.
party we had.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun.
yeah. You get your shark party. You guys cut open a
sturgeon in it.
A sturgeon.
Fed ourselves caviar. That's what we do.
Incredible. You fill the pool with them.
Yum.
That is If you haven't etten caviar out of Rob's swimming pool,
well,
you ain't living, Bubba. You ain't living.
Are we making any money tonight?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, got thrown off track here. Yeah, Imanaga is obviously. I don't think you're going to get Imanaga at a dog price anytime soon. But minus 128 on the road at Milwaukee might be as good as you're going to get. Bryce Wilson pitching for the Brewers. I think I like Imanaga as a slight road favorite here. Who else we got going today? Couple lefties for the Dodgers. The Dodgers suck all of a sudden. They don't suck like the Astros suck, but the Dodgers are underperforming. Like, you thought the Dodgers, you'd think they'd be running away with the NL West, running away with the National League. They're not. They're not that good. They're good. They're first place good, but they're not, win 115 games kind of good. So I don't know what's going on with that, but Dodgers favored on the road, minus 122 at the Mets. The Mets are maybe the worst team in baseball, or one of the worst teams. I would think the Dodgers kind of get things back on track here. As far as the Houston Astros, the aforementioned Astros, who kind of suck, Justin Verlander on the mound tonight at Seattle. George Kirby for the Mariners, minus 105, the Mariners at home. I like the Mariners. I think George Kirby today is a better pitcher than Justin Verlander today. And the Mariners are the daddies of the Astros for the last year or two. The Astros just can't figure them out, can't solve the puzzle. So give me the Mariners with George Kirby, old Slim on the mound, minus 105 tonight. And then as far as the Rangers, we'll go back to Dane Dunning. Dane Dunning's first start back from injury did not go well. I believe he gave up 85 earned runs in that game. That may be a exaggeration. It seemed like it. He is favored tonight, minus 132, taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks with Ryan Nelson. I don't like people who spell their name Ryan, R-Y-N-E. I don't like that name, kind of like I don't like Gretchen. So I don't know that I'm going to recommend you bet on the Diamondbacks, but I wouldn't bet on the Rangers as favorites with Dane Dunning Day. I think that's probably a bad call. And Paul Skeens takes the mound again.
Here we go, throwing smoke.
A second game of a doubleheader. Now, make sure if more and more books or places where you can make wagers are doing this. Back in the day, there was always a thing you could click that said starting pitcher must pitch for action.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important on doubleheader days that you make sure you've got the right pitcher for action, because in this doubleheader today, Tariq Skubal's pitching for the Tigers in game 1. Paul Skeens is pitching for the Pirates in game 2, allegedly. So you might think, I want to back the better pitcher in both games. Well, by the time the game starts, the Pirates might say, well, Skeens is throwing better right now. Let's run him out for game 1. And then you got a whole thing on your hands. So make sure you've got listed pitcher before you get action. So long story short, my favorite play on the card today is going to be George Kirby. It's betting against the old Houston Astros, but I think Imanaga also shows some value with his 0.84 ERA, an unstoppable force. Although Edwin thinks the Brewers are going to wreck him today. Brewers are putting up 14 on him, is what he said during the break. I don't know if that's true, but that's what Edwin thinks.
As the Cy Young chases between those two rooks, Imanaga have the slight lead over Skeens right now.
Yeah, he got a head start.
Mm-hmm.
And Skeens will have a bunch of strikeouts at the end of the year. It's going to be absurd, the strikeout numbers. But Paul Skeens gave up more earned runs in his first start than Imanaga's given up all year. So I think you got to respect it. Respect the resume, Rob. I'm going to tell you one cop story before we get out of here.
We've been waiting on a good one.
I know.
We need one.
I got to give you one. Cop in San Diego, California has resigned after an embarrassing incident has come to light where he was in the back seat of a car with a woman who was arrested for car theft, apparently an attractive lady.
Mm-hmm.
And the body cam was on, and the woman made suggestive remarks towards the officer, including propositions for sexual activity. Now, the officer Hare said, don't talk about such stuff like that. We don't talk about that stuff. And the woman said, are you single? And she said, yeah. Or the officer said, yeah, but you're not. Because she was arrested with her boyfriend or husband or something. They were Bonnie and Clyde, apparently. And the woman said, I'm down to bleep right now.
All right.
Whoa, you're down to bleep right now. He said, don't say that right now. Don't say that right now because everything's being recorded right now. Then the officer's car approached a quiet neighborhood. Communication dwindled.
The camera turned off.
He deactivated the body camera. GPS data indicated that his cruiser slowed to 7 miles per hour before turning onto a dark residential street, then stopped at 1:34 a.m. 20 minutes later, contacted a fellow officer asking him to come by with the master key for the patrol cars because he forgot that when you shut yourself in the back, you can't open those doors from the inside. So he got himself some, locked himself in the back seat of the cruiser with the chick he was banging.
This is a guy who needs a promotion. Don't let this guy go. You got to keep this guy around.
He revealed he was locked in the back seat with the woman, requested assistance after over an hour in the back seat with this criminal, with this thug car thief. They came and rescued him. In the interviews after, he maintained that he was merely checking on the woman and the door accidentally locked behind him.
Things like this happen, AJ. He was using enhanced interrogation techniques and things just went afoul.
He also explained that his body camera was dislodged while exiting the cruiser to check on her.
It happens.
And the traces of semen that were left on his belt were from before.
From earlier in the day.
And the woman, she denied any inappropriate behavior as well. This is all just a big misunderstanding.
I don't see what the problem is.
I don't either. It seems like
he was interrogating a suspect.
But now he's resigned.
And probably divorced.
No, he was single.
Oh, good for him.
She wasn't.
Oh,
she might be divorced, but she's denying too. Rob, it's been fun. Hump Day coming up with the Blitz guys, 2 to 6. Check them out right here on our little station.
Officer in distress. They got a 1096.
And you guys keep your body cameras on. Stay safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports